Shop the season's best values during Springfest at Lowe's. Get a Craftsman V20 battery-powered string trimmer. Was $119, now just $99. Or get a 17-inch gas string trimmer for $139. Was $189. Craftsman has high-quality, high-performing, and reliable products for all your outdoor spring projects. Shop today, because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid to 4/12. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fan. That's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to the WrestleMania 39 edition of One Nation Radio. We will be reviewing WrestleMania 39 Saturday and Sunday nights 1 and 2. And there's lots of stuff to talk about. We actually had a stream already up. We already had started the podcast, and then the Twitch stream said, this video stinks. You won't be, and then we were like, we won't be able to use this for the YouTube. Let's just restart it. So, this next time around, Rich, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I just want everybody to know that One Nation Radio is the best podcast in the world. We are number one. We would not come out here and fail you guys like Cody Rhodes in the main event, like WWE in the main event, like several other corny sounding motherfuckers. I can't believe some of the stuff we're going to have to get into tonight, James. This feels like one big victory lap. We didn't talk about Cody Rhodes for a very long time on this show. But, I want to say about 5 years ago this time, right? And we were in New Orleans, and there was a podcast with myself, you, Josh, and Jeremy at Keepin It Strong Style. And it was very spirited regarding Cody. And admittedly, I think I was talking more with my heart than my head at that time, because I kind of learned what type of what exactly was going on with Cody Rhodes. And from then I decided I would never be out of the loop on Cody Rhodes again. I would learn his career better than anybody else, call things before they happen. And what do you know? We've been doing that since 2021, James. We called the Codyverse bullshit when it was bullshit. We called him leaving the promotion. We called when he came back and said he would be pushed to the moon. And what else did we call, James? We called him getting smoked in the main event of WrestleMania like a black and mild. I'm not playing. We are the best. We have the clips to prove it. Tell who you want. It sounds crazy. I'm wearing the glasses because the lights are not too bright for me. This is comfort, baby. That's all this is. James. They can't touch us.
I'm never as boastful as you are, but I want to say, was it before or after Sammy got hold in Montreal? We were like,
we called that too.
yeah, we did. But I mean, it was necessary. It was like, no, Sammy's not winning because he's going to take it to Cody. And of course, Cody's not winning because that was meant to be The Rock, and The Rock's supposed to put over Roman here. So, like, what else is supposed to happen? So yeah, man. it was WWE in the part where like they get you and then they lose you, or if you had never, you've always been with them or whatever else, whatever you want to call it, whatever your relationship with WWE and Vince McMahon is, whatever. You're just like, I'm with them and I'm with them and like, we gonna ride this thing out till the wheels fall off. And then like they get to these WrestleMania main events and then the wheels fall off. And that's times when that exodus of people just being like, it's over. I'm done with them. I'm at my last, my wits end with them. I'm frustrated. I'm going to take a break or I'm going away from them or whatever else. It happens so often after a WrestleMania main event. And,
they are sitting on bricks.
Yeah. And, on the center blocks. And like when you mentioned the conversation about like we had the podcast like after WrestleMania 34, it was a lot of that with me was like, they spent all this time with Roman as a babyface, the top babyface in the company, and they always wanted to have this coordination thing with him, even though he's multiple time champion at this point. And they got to WrestleMania 34, and then they did what they did with him, and I was like, all right, I'm done, man. Like, they had a card and a build that was great. And then they got to the show, and like, so much of the last part of the show was so disappointing that I was like, wow, they just don't get it. They don't know how to, they get like this much of it, or they get parts of it, but they don't get just all of it in a way that like they should. And it's very frustrating. And, flash forward to, 5 years later and a lot of the same thing. In fact, like you look at that night one is one of the best nights of WrestleMania they've ever had. And then night 2 comes out there and it's like, oh yeah, no. Just what we did was we had the good WrestleMania, and then we had the bad WrestleMania, and then you could tell from like the fans and like the things that they were saying about each night, like what kind of fan of pro wrestling or sports entertainment you are, and it's like, oh, you people that like really like night 2 more than night 1. I don't value your opinion much for anything outside of like whatever you're out of whatever like things that we have a connection with. The reason why I'm following you, like it's really weird, man. Like really, really weird,
man.
Really, really weird.
We've got a lot to talk about. I promise we will get back to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. That's going to be the first real topic, right?
Yeah.
So
you want to talk about the weekend?
About the weekend.
Okay. So what all did you watch?
Man, I watched Supercard of Honor and I watched most of the NXT show. I didn't get around to any of the indie stuff too much. Okay. I honestly didn't have like too much interest in it just because it's been so bombed out and depleted. And they're trying their best to build it back up, but it's going to take a while to really get it back to like 2017, 2018, 2016 levels. Like, and that kind of talent just isn't out there right now. You did not miss the Georgia Bulldogs thing.
Because Ospreay's supposed to be, no
Ospreay.
Yeah, hurt too a lot.
So it kind of left El Hijo del Vikingo as the man of this weekend and all that. But I thought Supercard of Honor was excellent. I thought it was like a real stage setting kind of show with like kind of kicking off these Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston chases. And it didn't look like that at first with Mark. It looked like it was just a terrible decision made, but the more, it kind of like started coming out like after the match and then the post promos and all that. I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. Like, it might not be the TV title that he's chasing. It's going to be the other one. So keep your eyes peeled on that. But there was a great ladder match. Unfortunately, Dante Martin got injured in it. Hopefully he's doing well and everything like that. Insane match between Vikingo and Commander, kind of like a Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis of its time, or Rey Mysterio versus Juventud Guerrera of its time. This was like probably either the best or second best match I saw this weekend. I thought between that and Katsuyori Shibata showing up was awesome. The vibes were high. I did not like the crowd. I thought the crowd was not great. I don't know if this was just a LA thing, because a lot of the crowds I was watching were not great. Onto NXT. I watched.
What time was that show? Was it like in the morning?
That show came on 10 o'clock West Coast time, 1 o'clock East Coast time, I believe.
Okay.
And, you know, it was a really bad idea to do that show early in the morning because that crowd just, I don't know. It just didn't, or I don't know if that was the crowd or NXT. I'll say this about the NXT wrestlers. They are definitely getting coaching on how to look like stars and dress expensively and, you know, all the stuff like that's outside of the wrestling. But man, it was very frustrating watching that show. Thought the ladies' ladder match, I thought it was solid, but like the winner ended up someone that just didn't do or contribute anything to the match. There was like, you know, not catching people on dives. There was a lot of stuff like that. But just a lot of scramble stuff on this show. Just trying to lump tons of people on the card. The triple threat tag match was pretty bad outside of the Creed brothers performance. It was a 5-way match that was so incredibly frustrating. I don't think you'll ever find a well-wrestled match where it was a good match that was just more frustrating. It was a 5-man scramble match that at all times, 3 people were laying down like they were shot. And it was like, do y'all know how to do a scramble match? Like what the hell is this? It was it was Ilya Dragunov, it was Dragon Lee, Wesley, JD McDonough, and one more guy in the match.
Axiom? A-Kid?
Axiom, yes, A-Kid. Like, so this should be incredible, right?
Right.
It was not. Like, there was just something weird about it. And then from there, I was just kind of checked out. I was grumpy after that. I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching. From there, you know, we got to the main event. I skipped a few matches. I went and started getting ready because, you know, WrestleMania was coming. I had to jump in the shower and all that. But I came back just for the end of the Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes match. And this was a microcosm of what we would see in the WrestleMania main event when we talking about the wrong reactions, the cheating getting cheered, the lifeless kind of decision making that was going on here, the match layout. You got Trick Williams jumping in the match, cheating, hitting him with the belts, Braun Breaker kicking out of the belt shot. The guy Carmelo Hayes ends up winning via after already like tapping out. Like he was beaten, and then he's cheered wildly after. Then he, you know, and Trick Williams, you know, kind of celebrate with the championship. Braun Breaker grabs the belt, hands it to him, congratulates him like he won it with honor, and the crowd just like claps, and it's like, he just cheated you, you dumbass. What are you doing? Like, and this wouldn't be the last man that we see get cheated in the main event of something this weekend. So, all in all, I don't know. It was I thought Supercard of Honor was great. I thought NXT was average at best. Long gone are the days. Oh, Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller, really good match. I thought it was going to get corny. I was very worried with the home invasion and all that, which was just absolute comedy on several levels. But this one was just like a real kind of like, oh, okay, Candace got her licks in on him, and it wasn't like some corny shit. Like I thought this was I thought Gargano like represented himself very well. Like, and there was a funny kind of feeling of it. Like, what are you doing here? Like, it was like, you just don't fit here anymore. Like, there was that, but you know, hopefully this is his real farewell, like from NXT, and I don't know like what to make of his future prospects here. But from there, we can get to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. And my God, James, there were 2 people that came on this show for months that were telling people, yo, a PAC's going up. And it's coming from Georgia. It's coming from the Nightmare Factory. It's coming from the Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came out here and got his ass whooped in the main event. He came out here and got spiked in the neck by a man who had already been thrown from the match. He came out here and went in front of Brody Lee's child. They did an angle with this little kid in the middle of the main event where they take back the weight belt. This is just absolutely phenomenal. And you can look at the ring walks. All Cody Rhodes gets is walking his ass to the ring. And then Roman Reigns, they're playing the pianos, treating him just like the grand champion and all this. And there's just this look and this feeling. I'm watching it, James, and I'm just like, this is like weird. They get to the match. I would probably go like, I don't know, 3 3/4, maybe 4 stars on the match. But that first half of it, brutal, absolutely brutal. Then they went into the finisher spam and, lots of kickouts and everything like that. But they ended up in the long run giving Cody Rhodes the same exact match layout as Sami Zayn, as Drew McIntyre, as Kevin Owens. He was no different than any of the others.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this guy was from AEW, and there was no way in God's green earth that he was walking in there undefeated for a year and beating Roman Reigns. It was never, ever happening. I don't know who needs to hear this. A fucking wrestling war is going on. Perception. They were never, it was too clean. What was I saying last week? And people were like, I've seen people try to refute this and saying, hey, it's, what do you mean? He's been on WWE TV for 16 years. That's in the past. That's old. Cody Rhodes reset himself, even though they played it nice. Like I said before, everybody was public facing, like, yo, we're in this for the greatest terms. We're in this to, really promote him as our guy now, right?
Yep.
And they might end up doing it one day, maybe, right?
But one day wasn't yesterday.
But first, Cody Rhodes was going to eat that pile of shit and do that job for Roman Reigns at the end of the day, like everybody else. He was going to be put in line, and the sad part is he should have gone over. And I'll tell you why he should have gone over. Obviously, there's nothing else to do with Roman Reigns at this point. They keep putting these more days and time on this title reign that no one gives a fuck about anymore. This, and praising him as this all-time legend who's just winning all these matches, like he's Kenta Kobashi, James. Yeah. They're treating him like he's Kazuchika Okada during his title reign when he's doing these copy and paste main events with tons of cheating. The House of Roman. I talked about it before.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's super frustrating about it is like they've always wanted him to be the guy. And they've now gotten to the point to where like they have turned him heel, where he cheats. He has his cousins cheating in every single title defense to protect the belt. And walking in and walking out, the commentary is not matching the reality of what the situation is, which is this guy comes in, he has his match, and then everybody else helps him protect the belt, like as if he's Ric Flair, in the Horsemen, or if he's, NWO and Hogan or whatever else. Any, Evolution, Triple H, any heel operation, Jay White and, Bullet Club, Evil and House of Torture, all that shit. Kagetsu Oedo Tai, whatever you want to say. Like, all of that shit is the same thing. And then to have who is supposed, your commentator who during the match is literally rooting for Cody because of the cheating, but not acknowledging that Roman Reigns is like getting by, and that should be the heat, is that he's so fucking good that why is he stooping to this level? And how come no one has like stepped in to stop this from happening or like said this person is banned, blah, 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 blah. They don't do none of that. They just say it's an historic reign. He's up there with the Hogans and the San Martinos and the Pedro Moraleses and whoever else you want to throw in there. And it's like,
and the crowd plays along with it, James. They all react to him that way
because the crowd is front running because they want to root for winners. The baby faces are all losers.
They want to root for the laundry. And why would you want to be a babyface in WWE at this point? What is there for you to achieve?
That's where I'm getting at.
Look, you can't beat Walter. And you can't beat Roman Reigns. What do you have?
You got Bianca. That's it.
If you're a man, sorry, brother. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, absolute insanity. The way they did the cheating and all that, I was laughing. I thought it was hilarious that they did this. I'm no fan of Cody Rhodes, so I'm gonna switch between criticism for the company and how poorly booked and laid out this was, and talk about like what a trash fire it is that this guy that was popping house show numbers for you couldn't get it. Sami Zayn couldn't get it.
No. Not a guy that was popping house show numbers for you. The second guy that's done it for you.
Correct.
In a row. He's gone through two of them in a row.
It's like what are we doing?
You can't guarantee they'll ever have one again.
Dave Meltzer, are you asking where the baby faces are in WWE now? Let me know.
It was so interesting to see the YouTube clip he put up of talking about the match, and like you can see it finally dawned on him, all these matches that he's been giving these like absurd ratings to. They're like, oh yeah, they've been doing the same shit for half a year now. It finally dawned on him that like all these matches are wrestling third gear, and then his cousins come and do all this bullshit between kickouts and near falls and rough bumps. It's like, where have you been?
These people watched this man Cody Rhodes went and had his mom ringside, had his wife, had his baby, had somebody else's baby ringside. -1 is out here getting dragged into this. But eventually folks like Dave, they're gonna have to look in the mirror and realize who made that decision. And it was that clown Paul Levesque that walked in the press conference. This time somehow people were not throwing roses at his feet like King Jaffe Joe when he walked in. Somehow this was not the case. He walked in and shouted to John Alba, who asked him basically in the nicest way possible, like, what made you go with that line? Like he basically was like, what'd you do this for? Amanda Huber posted it was a bad call. Triple H. I talked about it in January. There's a clip where it was like Vince McMahon's back, evaluate Triple H. And you look at all the culminations of all these stories. I don't know what the big Triple H story was going into this. When it comes to this particular match, he has the nerve to drop this line that says there is no end of the story. To me, if you're Cody Rhodes and your entire thing is built on finish the story, people were getting custom shoes made of this. This was his tagline. This was the tagline for the main event. Finish the story. You know what Triple H thought of that? Triple H thought, you broke my throne, motherfucker. Fuck your story. Here's my nuts on your story. Your entire ethos. Triple H took a gigantic shit on that. Why? Because at the end of the day, you are coming back from AEW in a wrestling war. This is like Ric Flair coming into WWE and imagining him beating Hulk Hogan for whatever reason. This was never, ever happening. And more people need to be called to the carpet on the wrestling knowledge that have these big podcasts, that have these lots of followers and these well-cultivated audiences and all this stuff that are just literally giving the people bullshit and not seeing this for what it is. The ease that it was. This wasn't hard, James.
It was not hard at all. It's very simple. Like, and if you want, people will say, like, hey, was Vince involved in changing the finish, this, that, and the third? And obviously, Triple H has to, go out there in front of those people because they've been now doing these press conferences like it's, after takeovers or whatever else, media scrums, because, TK started doing it, Tony Khan started doing it, so he's like, I need to start doing this too because Vince would never do this, and, I gotta, differentiate myself. And, like, I fully believe this was Triple H. You wanna know why? Because we used to watch Triple H book NXT, and while he was booking great NXT, what did he do to Johnny Gargano? He kept having him chase and chase and chase until it was finally time to do it, and then the guy that was a champion had to go away to get neck surgery because he waited so fucking long, and then they had to go try to get it, spin the block a year later. So yeah, man. Him spinning or trying to squeeze all the juice out. Whoa. He's known for this. This is MO. This is also a Vince thing, but Triple H also does this. So yeah, like regardless of what actually happened and whose decision actually was, we absolutely can't believe that Triple H was responsible for this in part. And this is what he was wanting to do because this is a part of his philosophy. This is a part of what he has put down on tape, if you will.
Cody Rhodes. I just don't know what to say. Part of me thinks this is very funny.
It's hilarious.
I can imagine what. Actually, I don't have to imagine because so many of the AEW wrestlers were tweeting about WrestleMania as it was happening. Stop that. But those group chats, I can imagine what they look like. And I'm not saying that, hey, just because Cody Rhodes lost, this is going to actually end up discouraging people from going to WWE.
Money be green.
Right. Money be green. Exactly. But it does send something. When you go there, there's going to be a pile waiting for you somewhere. There's going to be a big loss. There's going to be an embarrassing day and a big setback for whatever you trying to do. And, maybe the grass, ain't greener. But
one thing I will say when it comes to Cody in regards to taking the big losses or whatever else, if he was in AEW, he'd be doing the same thing because he was never chosen. Like I think it's quite interesting. Regardless of whoever it is, right? Whether it was Vince McMahon initially, whether it was Gato and Jado and Kadani, whether it was Tony Khan, and whether it's Triple H / Vince McMahon again, he has been to all three major male wrestling promotions in the world, and they have all decided that dude is not a major world champion. They have all decided it. At least for now. Things could change, obviously. The belts could be split up.
If he does win the shit, like, it's going to be less effective, obviously, because of this this obsession with Roman Reigns' title reign and his legacy and trying to establish this, right?
But Rich, what about letting it play out like Triple H was more or less saying? He can get it back, right? He can get it all back. That's what they said about the last piles of bodies I've seen left in their wake.
So the problem with like people that are apt to believe that bullshit, this is like you're very hardcore WWE fan. They always think WWE is hot, so they'll have no concept of blowing something because it's like, oh, it'll pay off one day, right? But it's like, no, buddy, you missed the peak, and then it goes down and it goes away and it goes somewhere else. That's what happens more often than not, and they refuse to learn the lesson. We always talk about learning lessons on this show.
Yep.
A lot of the time, they give you the information that you will need one day to actually figure out what they're doing. And it's a process in different promotions, learning how it works. Like, we're still learning how AEW works to an extent. Like, I think there are some patterns that you can, kind of point out and, extend grace on. And then it's like, oh, they're done with this. Like, that stuff's still emerging. But WWE, This stuff, we learned this long ago. And if you haven't learned it by now, it's on you.
Yeah, that's well said. Like
there's no one else. There's no one else now.
But
who are they going to throw at us, James?
Say again?
Who are they going to throw at us, James?
There'll always be somebody else that they'll prop up to be next. It's how it always is. And like then the next time that's the thing about the let it play out thing is like they're running on the logic that one, their top heel and their top babyface is Roman Reigns. He's just presented as a heel right now, so we're good either way. So it's all about finding the next person to prop up for him to then cheat to conquer, right? So once they find somebody they can move on from as a top hero, though, that can, be the person at least even on a short-term basis to give Roman a break, for fuck's sake, while he's, not full-time anymore. Like, they keep... It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It keeps saying, like, they keep finding somebody that you could potentially, if you decide to invest whatever into it or whatever else, so you can see where it takes you to find an alternative to Roman or find something to move Roman out of the main event slot or the title scene or whatever else. And they keep getting themselves close and they're like, no, we can't do that because Roman is our answer. Like, the answer is always Roman. It's always going to be Roman, and until Roman doesn't want to do this shit no more, Roman gets broke up or whatever as far as injury and age. Like, and that's the thing that's like, this is what like started, or this is why there's like a lot of bitterness with Roman, including before the 4 years where it's like, he's overpushed, blah, 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 blah. Like, look, man, we're past that point. You can't overpush the dude that is the top guy in your promotion as far as popularity from a year-long perspective, right? Sure, Sammy has surpassed him in recent months or whatever else, or recent weeks or whatever else. Cody has done the same in recent weeks as well, too. There ain't no guarantee that's gonna last forever. So that's why they keep doing it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what causes the perpetual thing is like Roman's always been our guy, so we're continuing to be our guy. And then when someone gets close, we can say we should push him and stay for at least short-term basis and see where it goes. It's like, now we can't do that because if that happens, then what happens to Roman? Because Roman is our cash cow. It's just always this over and over and over again. And it turns to a feedback loop. And I don't necessarily blame because Roman's doing a good job with his presentation and like he goes to these crowds. And you say what you want to. He goes to them buildings, and them buildings are all this. And you got these white folks throwing this up, right? And you see them out here, and they don't have a clue what they wearing. They throwing on that bloodline shit, and they fuck around living up in the wrong area in LA. So you can't say
somebody had to get robbed out there wearing some the bloodline shit.
I mean,
look, some of the ruling 60s had to find them somewhere. Like somebody caught a lick. That's all I know.
I just hope nobody left their bag. I just hope nobody was dumb enough to leave their bags or their valuables inside their car because that shit got one of these or that glass got shattered like the opening of the Austin theme and whatever was in there was taken out.
All right, man. It's just such a bad decision in just tons of ways, and it's really expected. So, One Nation Radio taught you.
Yeah. All right, so Cody Rhodes fans, Cody Rhodes super fans. We have to talk about Floyd, right? I feel. No! I want to try to pack up Floyd.
No, man. I was. That's why I took the cigar out. When I started talking about Floyd.
Okay. I saw the cigar go in. I was like, well, hold on. That's not what
that was for Cody. This was this is a little quick hit for Cody. That's it. We'll put it back down.
Okay, my heart goes out to Floyd and to Tiffany and to anybody else that becomes a fan of somebody, believes in them, and the craft they're doing. They're doing good work. They're doing good work to get that kind of notoriety to begin with. You believe in them. They get you to, an inch away from the goal line, and then they decide for whatever reason to not push you into there for the touchdown. That hurts. And, I've been a part of that with Johnny Gargano, Wile E. Coyote his ass off the stage, at Brooklyn. Like, I fully get it. I understand it. My heart especially goes out to those that said, I'm taking a step further. I'm not just going to watch this and believe. I'm going to book tickets and accommodations and travel and take days off from work or schedule my vacation time around this and then go there and then taking all this stuff. And then you start, looking for reasons to confirm what you want to happen. And then it doesn't happen. That sucks, man. Like,
jackets, shirts, shoes.
Yeah. Jackets, shirts, and shoes and colors that can put you in danger over there. Right? Yeah, man. Like I've thought about this before, and like I've thought about like what would have happened, or not what would have happened, like how it would have felt if like Tam had lost the white belt match and they would have shaved her fucking head bald. How devastated I would have been emotionally. Like, I would have been like, I can't believe they did this to her. And especially because it's like the same things you think about as far as how they do this shit is like, as far as like the reason why you believe in Cody. Like, I believe in this person because they're really good. Not only are they really good at whatever they're doing, they're also like a top star in the promotion, and top stars promotion get to the main event and win the main event, the thing that simplifies that you're in the main event scene for now or whatever else. And, like, I had thought about this shit and like, Rich, I know you don't really, I don't know if you really ever watched, many musicals. I'm sure you have an appreciation for them as far as like just being able to like the be able to lyrically be able on a subject or whatever else, try to relate that to a crowd.
I saw Hamilton.
Okay. Yeah. Hamilton, perfect example, right? Like there is a famous musical called Les Mis. It is about the French Revolution. I'm not going too deep into it, but basically the gist of what starts the revolution is a woman that basically gets shaved bald and because of her life turned so bad, turned into prostitution, ends up dying in the streets of Paris, if you will. And before she dies, at the end of her big song that gets you emotionally invested in her death, the last few bars is, I had a dream that life would be so much different from this hell I'm living, so different now from what it seemed. Now life has killed the dream I dreamed. And like, the thing that stuck in my mind is like being bald headed. And if Tam had been bald headed, I would be like, wow, that would have fucking devastated me. Now imagine Floyd and Tiffany and them finish the story. Life has killed the dream I dreamed.
Shout out to them.
Fuck this company. Fuck this promotion.
It's heartbreak, bro. Eternal heartbreak, bro. Like, Kenny Omega comes out here and loses at Dominion 2018.
Yes.
Can you imagine what I would have been like? I would have been despondent. Despondent. Just completely like, fuck this. Fuck everything.
Right.
But yeah, like they for me, it's as simple as the wrestling war. Like, he was going to have to come and lay down for Roman Reigns and bow down before the tribal chief, like to show, hey, we are superior. And the second they threw that stuff in there about AEW, before that whole thing, they were just making the entire feud about this guy.
Yeah, about Dusty.
Man, Dusty. I'll hold up a Dusty Rhodes shirt for those on audio.
Yeah, I had to cover for you. Like, bro, this is also a podcast, sir. What are you doing? The whole thing, like, they own Dusty's legacy. They own you at the end of the day now, and it's like you are an employee. Like they also used to say, you're only a customer. Like, this is. This is sad for a lot of people, and it's as sad as it is a bad booking decision, which is rare. Yeah. So, just wanted to say, James deserves Anne Hathaway's Oscar for that Miss rant. At least Ann put the actual vocals on it. I was like, you ain't finna get me singing Les Mis right now. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Let's get to WrestleMania Day 1, and we'll go back all the way through.
Yeah.
So, open up United States Championship match. Austin Theory versus John Cena, or like a facsimile of John Cena, a shadow version of John Cena, the corpse of John Cena, whatever you want to name here. I picked Cena going over strictly out of spite because I thought Austin Theory was such a nothing, and then he showed me absolutely nothing in this match. Yeah, this was awful, a complete waste of time. Cena immediately got on a plane and headed to the next movie shoot. This is unneeded, and I think John Cena is like toast as like someone to come back and actually do something in the ring. Like, there's no appeal to it. He'll come back, he'll pop quarter hours, he'll sell tickets, so do all that stuff. He's done giving us anything that matters or worthwhile in the ring.
Yeah,
and he fucked this off and mailed this shit in too, like he mailed in against Baron Corbin that one time, but worse.
You think it was worse?
This is worse for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it just is very much this is not need to be on WrestleMania. This is very much this could have been the main event or top of start of an hour for one of the shows, SmackDown or Raw. Yeah. Like, it's just interesting. Like, he wins, or Austin Theory wins with the low blow, whatever else. So like, they're protecting John Cena, and they're like, you won't see him for another year, 2, 3, and it's like, by that point in time, you'll forget all about him losing Austin Theory unless you bring it back up. Just fucking beat him. If you're going to beat him. Right? He's the guy that's young. You want him to beat John Cena. Have him actually beat him. When they actually help Austin Theory. Like, every time he wins one of these matches, it's never like he shows how good he is. Like, same thing with the Elimination Chamber. It's like,
James,
you can't just beat Seth Rollins.
Breaking news audio.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes was F5 by Brock Lesnar tonight after teaming with him in a match against Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. They have sent this man off away from the belt.
Brock wrestled on Raw?
Apparently. Brock was a mystery partner for Cody Rhodes because of this weird-ass stipulation.
When was the last time that happened, though? When's the last time he wrestled on TV? On free TV?
Before the match started. Ah! Look at that. That's funny. In a tag match. Unbelievable. Yeah, Cody's out here. Look, the packs are coming in. They gonna let him beat Brock?
No, of course not. I'd be shocked. I would say this, though. If he did beat Brock, that would be a step in the direction of, like, going back towards, like, coming back next year for it or whatever else. Even though I think 40, they want Rock again. But, The Rock will probably say, go to hell again. So, he can't even show up for his 25th fucking anniversary with a video message. So, yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Brewhaven Brock, you better not job.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Brock to go ahead and pull rank.
Man.
Up next, Fatal 4-Way.
Hold on, wait. Imagine getting paid as much as how much do you think Cody getting paid per year right now? 3?
Cody's probably getting 3.5 at least.
Right. Imagine getting paid $3 to $3.5 million a year, and you get hold like this.
You're getting hold by like, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
Like, what is happening?
Bro,
like this is the kind of shit. This kind of shit ends up in like the death of WCW. Like, yeah, they paying somebody $3 million a year, and they doing Jack Dilly squat with them, or the equivalent of what would be $3 million per year back then, 25 years ago. Like, that's crazy, man.
They have 4 matches in 3 hours tonight. Vince is back.
Oof.
Oh, some of this WrestleMania pacing, absolutely disgusting too, by the way. We'll talk about it later, but Fatal 4-Way tag team match, Street Profits, Alpha Academy, Strowman and Ricochet and Viking Raiders, and these boys just was like, what story? We're doing moves. Let's get it. It's on. Love
The story,
this
excitement.
Yes, love this match.
Yeah, they killed it, man. That was awesome. Everybody did their part. Like for them, I think my favorite part of the match, it wasn't even like some crazy outrageous thing that Gable or Montez did. It was like Strowman did his routine choo-choo train deal where he run locomotion, just running people over on the tracks, and then he takes a second turn around and he comes around that corner, and Dawkins fucking just flips the hit stick and lays him out. It was so like it. I'm gonna remember that for a while. I'm gonna remember that one for a while. That was awesome. And then next thing you know, like Ricochet just over rotates on a shooting star press on the floor from the top rope. It like that for a show that had such shitty camera work. That was one of the coolest like camera shots I've ever seen. From that to that, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, wonderful match. Happy for Street Profits getting a big win there.
Yeah, I mean. What second or third best match of the show or of the weekend for WWE? Yeah.
Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. This is also another good match. I'm so impressed by Logan Paul. I wish he would actually like be a wrestler and take it serious. Like he just gets it. I thought this was like this is a pretty good match as far as like big ideas, execution, and kind of just two guys that are in there early on the show, keeping the momentum and the energy going. I would probably go 4 stars on this. I thought Rollins looked pretty good in this. I thought his gear was not great, but whatever. I don't know. I expected Logan Paul to win, but got to give Seth something, I guess.
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't win either, but look, I'm not going to be complaining about someone that's good, as the standing in that promotion that they have to get a win after like being completely just treated like an underappreciated, and some of that griping stuff came out before WrestleMania or during this weekend, but like, yeah, get a win and let's go from there. And like, look, you can continue doing Logan Paul antagonizing Seth Rollins and let them go back and have more matches. They can do that. But yeah, I'm with you. Probably four flat stars. Really fun match. The second he came down with the Prime energy drink dude, we started thinking, is that Jay White?
I thought that was
that fucking thing.
I thought Seth was in that shit.
So yeah, that also was at play too because he came out last. But he's a kind of a goofball right now, so he could just come out and wrestle in the thing and then take it off and have stuff underneath it, but his gear. But yeah, like that was a fun match, and like the visual and the way they were able to do it, were like Logan Paul is such a arrogant asshole that like he's gonna stunt on Seth Rollins by having him laid out on the table, on the announce table. He's gonna drink his drink and then hit him with the big frog splash. Like he takes it and just jumps without even looking, and by the time he's in midair, he realizes, "Oh, I'm diving on my friend. I'm fucked here." Like that was a really nice shot. Also from the camera crew. So yeah, really fun match. Yeah, and they can go. I'm not finna say don't give me another Logan Paul Seth Rollins match in the future. They definitely, if they do it again,
Logan Paul can wrestle. Logan Paul can wrestle whoever he wants. Like he's probably like one of the 5 most people I enjoy in this company. So, yeah, Brock Lesnar destroying Cody Rhodes. This is incredible.
Oh
this they are sending the message tonight. They are sending the message.
Wow. I'm seeing stuff in the chat about like Bayley not being around or something.
She sent out a tweet that looked kind of like, But, speaking of them, 6-woman tag. Yeah. Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita defeat Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. And I got to tell you, this was not good.
It wasn't. And the weird thing about it was like, it has moments where it was good, and then like, it was almost like they got Lita back in there. It was like, oh, we're decidedly not, we're not against this match being good. We're completely against this match being good. So we put her back in.
We made an agreement, be like, that this is what we decided we will achieve at a certain level, and that's it.
Like first off, the decision that like, okay, we're going to get Becky in here, and we're going to have Becky get the heat as if she is like, as if she's like Mina Shirakawa.
Ricky Morton.
Yeah, Ricky Morton, Mina Shirakawa. I'm trying to think of Natsupoi. Like, we're going to get her in here. We're going to whoop her ass. Like, the most over woman in, like, currently on the roster. Let's whoop her ass so we could, set up the hot tags for the real stars. The people that wrestled 20 years ago. So they did that. And then they brought Lita in, and they got, I don't know, I can't even say run mild, run ice cold, did that. And then like,
the crowd is chanting one more time to F5 Cody.
Oh my God.
It's happening already.
Oh, wow.
And it was always going to happen. The other shoe was going to drop with these WWE fans and Cody. It was coming.
Wow. Like, yeah, we never really liked you anyway, Elite Boy.
Yeah. Like, what you mean? They was going to let you win.
Yeah. So, because be honest, think about it. Like, if you were there to see Cody, you have left. You do not give a flying fuck about that Raw after that. So the only people that would be there would be people that did not want him to win to begin with. So that crowd definitely is like, yeah, F5 him again, Brock. Fuck him. We ball.
The Fed, nigga. Like,
yes.
Clip that.
Yeah.
Public execution. Yes.
Oh man.
Executed that man over 2 days. Came back for that ass whooping.
They making
sick individuals.
Making an example out of that man.
Sick individuals.
We gonna pay you 7 figures per year to embarrass the fuck out you. Why? Because we got money like that. Money long.
Endeavor.
I don't even think about the Endeavor part of seeing like Vincent as Vendettas and Triple H too. Oh man, I can't wait till like 6 months from now when they try to heat him back up and be like, damn, I don't know why I ain't worked this time, dumbasses. Oh man,
Jesus Christ.
So continue with this match. Lita, awful.
Yeah. Awful.
I would say don't
work no more.
I would say don't come back, but it's like, of course you're gonna come back. Because she's old money. She's established. She's a star. Crowd pops whenever her music comes on. She's always gonna come back.
Switch the style up, please.
Yeah, like look, if she saw Rey Mysterio Jr. fell in love with pro wrestling, I'm not gonna say do what Rey Mysterio does as an old luchador, because what Rey does as old luchador is not what old luchadors do. What she needs to do, she needs to take her ass to YouTube, type in CMLL, and watch some of these old fuckers in Arena Mexico do what they do. Like, she need to be out here watching the old heads, because the shit she's trying to do, she cannot do anymore.
Yeah. Appreciate the comments. The instant classic ONR, man. We just, they making it easy.
Yeah. And when I say the shit she's trying to do, I don't mean she's not trying to do Tihareses or moonsaults and all that. I'm talking about like running ropes. Don't do it. Just brawl. Like, you need to watch you need to watch the old heads. You need to be watching like Jon Moxley and Brock Lesnar and other motherfuckers that treat it like a shoot and don't run ropes. Like, people like that. It's out. Anything involving athleticism, we're done with. You need to be watching all brawlers. You need to be watching like she need to be watching the Global Honor Crown, Rich. That's what you need to be watching.
We pass athleticism.
Yes, she need to be out here brawling. Period. If she wants to be out here, she needs to, you know who she needs to talk to? She needs to talk to Jazz, because Jazz, the last 5 years, is pretty much what she was able to survive off of, is brawling and being tough. That's kind of what Lita could get to now. I think that's only what she has left, right? She's almost like a big man. He's like, all I got is like being able to shout, right? So, like the turnaround jumper. So, post
Patrick Ewing.
That's it. Yeah. That's I think that's all she got. Otherwise, don't show up. Don't show up because look, you come out here and you embarrassing yourself, and by you embarrassing yourself, you also embarrassing Trish, and Trish wants to come back. So they whooped her ass after she ran ice cold, and then they brought in Trish, and Trish was out there with Dakota, and she tried to do her Stratisfaction, which is a Sonya Blade deal. What's it called?
Yeah. I don't know the name of her move. She tried that Bulldog too.
Yeah. But
it just wasn't hitting as crisp.
Yeah, tried it in the ring, didn't work. Someone takes out Dakota while she's on the top. They end up doing it out on the floor onto a spot for Dakota to come off the top rope to her teammates on the floor. And then by the time I don't even remember what the finish was. You remember what the finish was?
No.
all I know is oh yeah, okay, so they end up laying out everybody but Bayley, and then Bayley eats all three of their finishes and gets pinned.
Shit, that sounds like somebody on the way out to promotion.
I mean, if you are talking about you want to, go anywhere Mercedes is, then like if she ain't coming here, I guess that means you got to take your ass on, don't you?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Up next, singles match: Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. And James, I loved it.
It's a good match. It's a very good match.
I loved it.
It's a very good match.
Not the most crisp work rate in this match, but like from the entrances, the Dom Mysterio entrance was just calculatedly hilarious. Just like I think I would have gotten more out of it if he wasn't like just such an absolute joke or geek. Like if he was an actual like legit badass running around whooping people's ass for months, and then like Ray was getting in there, it's like fuck. He's actually in danger fighting his son. Like, I think that would have been more effective because a lot of this was like large comedy, and then they wanted us to take it like, oh yeah, but like this is for real. Like it's no, it's not. Like I think what would have like really sealed it for me is like, imagine if Ray's son was like Andrade or something, right? And then Andrade had been like kicking people's asses and killing them for months and like all this stuff, and it was like this son that's like out of control, not this like scared straight child that was sent there to the booty man or what was the dude's name? The toss salad man. You talking about Chris Rock? Yeah. No, like the dude that was talking about the booty bandit or something like that. I like it and I want you.
Oh yeah, that's like from Boondocks. But I thought you were talking about like the tossed salad man that Chris Rock was talking about. Like he said, like,
look, you look dusty. You ain't that cute.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different jail guys, but like the Chris Rock one was like it's like a scare straight thing, and he tells like the kids like. I like to have my salad toast. You know what that means? He's like, I like to have my asshole either jelly or syrup. I prefer syrup. And it's like, that's enough to keep me out of jail. I do not want to fuck with the tossed salad man.
Lothario Negro, the booty warrior. That's exactly who I was thinking of.
The booty warrior is his name?
Yes.
I thought you were just saying random shit, just hoping it would stick. But the booty warrior.
The booty warrior, yes. But
like a pair of cheeks, and then like I imagine like Ultimate Warrior running to the ring right now.
Correct, exactly. But
a pair of cheeks and Steph Curry shooting from 45 feet.
Correct. But this match, I thought I loved it still, despite that. Rey Mysterio coming out to with Snoop Dogg and Nothing But a G Thing is playing. You know, that song's 30 years old now, and it's just like this nice, safe, song they can play out. They should have just made that the theme song, because man, I tell you, I was tired of hearing Hollywood swinging by like the start of day 2. I was finished, bro.
But Rich, here's the thing: what you might be like unaware of is if like they had played Drop Number the G Thing that many times, you may have gotten sick of what I think is the greatest rap song of all time. So maybe it's for the best. that did not turn you off on Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
That would take a lot. Like, it would take a lot.
I mean, it would too. It's like, I mean, you know how many times I've played that fucking song? Maybe 1,000 times, but still.
So Ray and Dom, they have a very good match. Ray is just so much better than him still at this age, and it's just like Dom's like, all right, once this is over, once this angle is over, I don't know what there is really left for him to do. Obviously, he'll be on the roster. He can wrestle.
He'll be a heater for Judgment Day.
Yeah, like he can do that. But as far as like this was a Rey Mysterio masterpiece.
Yeah.
and the whole family's in on it. You saw Rey Mysterio's daughter jumping out there. Had his mom out there, and it was just like, this was a lucha, like heat, pay it off. The hero wins at the end.
Yep.
And I was thrilled with this match. I don't know what I would give it. I think I'm like 3.75 on it, but
that's where I'm.
Trust me, look. This is why sometimes star ratings don't always like line up with everything. Mm-hmm. But as a presentation, top to bottom, with the entrances, loved it.
Yeah. Super fun. And you mentioned Aaliyah, man. One of the funniest things from the whole entire weekend was when Dominic threw that water or that cup in Aaliyah's face. And Aaliyah, the way that she acted, she did not know was actually coming. She had her fucking mouth open. That shit went into her mouth, and then she had to spit that shit out. That was so good. That was hilarious.
House up on the barricade, and
Oh man.
Yeah,
she did. Yeah, she did try to hop the barricade. Yeah, she did. That was great. That was great.
SmackDown Women's Title match: Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And man, this was incredible, James.
Great match.
This was a real war. This was a hard fought, people doing head drops, a lot of chops and slapping and fighting, and just crawling for it. And if you asked me before WrestleMania what women's match or the two title matches, I would have picked the other one. That was going to be the better one. They shocked the hell out of me. Charlotte adds this to her WrestleMania resume. She shows up on a big stage, and this is like, I think you got to give it to her. We give it to Charlotte heavy, on this show sometimes, like with some of the stuff that surrounds her,
it's deserved.
Effort levels,
it's earned.
And I think we're right for a lot of the stuff, right? But we're coming back to the table right now to congratulate these two for an awesome match. I'm probably I'm like 4.5, maybe 4 3/4 on this.
Really?
It was like
I'm at 4 1/4. It's a great match. Last week I even said is like, look, it didn't work out this way. I was going to save this until after we covered the main event, but like, they went out there and they wrestled this match as if they were told however long ago they were going to get the main event of night one, and then they were later told that they weren't going to get it, and they got the time they were always going to get, and they went out there and just wrestled as if it was a WrestleMania main event. And like, you tell me what looked more like a classic WrestleMania, what a good classic WrestleMania main event looked like. Sami Zayn getting his ass whooped from pillar to post and just doing nothing but selling over and over and over and over to set up hot tags for the guy that's less over to him, or those two going out there and hitting each other with forearms and chops and big throws. Like,
head drops,
it was that
turnbuckle off the top rope finishers and shit. Like, yeah.
And which this is the reason why it's like, you were higher on it than I was, but like, their WWE's pacing gets in the way of like being able to lose yourself in whatever they're doing. Like, I get
so many
why they're doing it, and I get their logic is that if they sell it and get as much out of taking their time as the crowd can build anticipation for what's next, whatever else. When I'm watching, I'm like, this is slow as fuck, and now I know what's happening because your camera work and your camera direction lets me know that, like, telegraphs what's next. Like, Rich, was it 45 seconds or a full minute when we were there and I called she's about to finish her with a top rope?
The second they went in that corner, you were like, well, I know the finish. And this was like at least a minute before,
right?
And before they started
Charlotte
doing all the fighting.
There, and then Charlotte they're going back and forth and fighting at the top, and then it happens. I was like, and that's the problem with like when I'm watching, this is part of my end is like, I don't watch WWE anymore except for the pay-per-views or like an occasional match that I heard, with some great match or whatever else, where I'm interested, I'll check it out. When you don't watch WWE and you're watching, faster paced wrestling, AEW or Stardom, thank God I don't watch Dragon Gate, but like, and then you watch WWE, you're like, bro, why is everything so slow? Like, and this kills my enjoyment of the match because like obviously they're playing to the crowd between big move, kick out and stuff, and I'm like, big move, kick out, you're doing all of this and playing to the crowd. Why don't you just pick them up and drop them on the fucking dome and pin them, please? You're killing me. So yeah, like it was even with that, like I still thought it was clearly cleared, even great. I thought it was one of the better women's matches you'll get out of WWE this year. Probably will end up being the best by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley gets a win over Charlotte. Charlotte does the thing where she's laughing on the ground after because, of course, she's Charlotte. But, I wonder who told her to start doing that. Like,
yeah, because she did that against. That's her second time doing it to her.
Yeah. It's like, you got me. So I don't know. I don't know what Rhea does with it at this point. Rhea got to figure out something with this hair dye. I hope that was a one-time thing.
I don't know what she was going for.
Outfit, like because all that shit was just leaking like on her face, and it looked strange.
Yeah, like at first before I realized it was intentional, my first thought was like maybe she, because her hair's not black naturally. It's like maybe it's like she threw something on there to make it black, and it like just leaked down. And I'm looking, it's like no, that was intentional. But like I'm also looking, I'm like, it's gonna run and she starts sweating, and then that's what happened. And I mean, there was a lot of we don't really talk about the women's wrestlers and their makeup or whatever else, but like I don't really want to do it right now. But it was Ronda has notorious odd decisions with her makeup. Shayna has, those two were paired together, and it was like I guess they was trying to link it up together, and then Rhea with that one, I was like, kind of interesting.
It's like who's making these choices? Like,
I just like to know what they're actually, or at least I kind of have an idea.
What's the idea?
I know what Shayna was going for, because it was like thunderbolts or whatever else, right? Or lightning. But I don't know what Rhea was going for. Like maybe because a place like What Culture, for example, they'll see someone's gear. And then they'll say, like, this is what the theme was, whatever, something that I've missed. And I'll be like, I'll go back and be like, oh, okay, I don't know how I missed that. Or, I didn't even think about that. That's cool. I guess I got to find out What Culture did on this one to figure out what that was.
It looked like a bunch of thunder. That shit looked like the side of Hollywood Hogan's pants in 1998.
Except it's black where it was white.
Right. Inversion.
Oh, man. Yes, Yazara, you did miss the Cody pack, but don't worry, we'll be in podcast.
We'll get back to him. We'll get back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely clipping this.
All right. So what's next?
Okay. Now after Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, I'm like, oh yeah, there's one match left. Let's get to it. This whole show is going swimmingly great at this time, but we've got this Pat McAfee and Miz segment, and impromptu match breaks out of nowhere because we just have to do something for the main event, and it would only get worse the next night. It was like, okay, y'all did it once
to justify it being 4 hours when it should be like 3.5 tops. But then we won't be able to play as many commercials.
We should probably talk about that right now. Okay, they are monetizing and doing advertising to a obnoxious level at this point, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to slow down. This is the new future of WWE.
Yeah. You got to monetize screen time,
bro. Like it's so much. It's like it's like VC and 2K. How everything ends up like a add-on paid transaction. Like it's just like it's so much. It is very off-putting, and it's like
it's intrusive. Yeah.
It's just like fuck, bro. Like all these like brand. It's just like. It takes like the heart and the soul almost out of what you're doing. And yes, I understand. If it was a case where they were, putting stuff on turnbuckles, they were using the ring mat for stuff like that. Like I think that's like, we're all used to that. We've seen boxing. We've seen like promotions in Japan. We've seen AEW do that. Yeah. But this is like spinning graphics of the shit, customized names, fucking LED boards everywhere. Back to spinning things again, multiple ad reads of this stuff, the video package commercials between all this stuff, the all the stuff. It's just like the Nick Khan initiative is like is in full effect. Like, if you don't like watching this or anything like that, this stuff is not going away.
It's only going to go forward. Yeah, it's not going backwards. You're like right to.
I'm glad that like we're this close to them trying to sell us crypto.
They just missed the boat on that one. They just missed it. One. Yeah, they were in on NFTs though. At least John Cena was. You're right to point out like there has been a creep in this for WWE. I don't mind it. I don't care because I'm not really there paying attention to whatever else. And also, like, you know, there's other places like you mentioned, like boxing or even like soccer or Euro basketball, to where like, and even in the NBA, where like now like they put it on their, you know, the patches on their, you know, they sell that space on their jerseys. That happens in soccer as well. They sell practice football jerseys in NFL, but also like on the field, like, and also back on the basketball court, like in the NBA, like they sell like half court blocks inside the 3-point line on the wings now, and they're digitally put there, right? Like there's just CGI there, like so like that is so like, and Euroball has done that for years, soccer has done that for years, so like. And even a place like you know, another mention of CMLL, like when they show their camera angle, like they go straight to the entrance ramp, and you can see the sign of them, you know, the Goya, whatever else they're selling,
beer,
whatever. Yeah, you know, drinks, all that kind of stuff, and it, you know, flips over the span of like, you know, every 15 seconds, or whatever. So like, I'm kind of numb to it now. So you mentioned was like on the mat, like Stardom does that too now, right? Like, or has done it since the Bushiroad bought. Like, so I'm kind of numb to it, but I get if people haven't noticed it, or it being not, or WWE being kind of late to it in a way, and also with the way they're so far ahead is like with the LED stuff, they like it kind of sticks out more because the color is so sharp. I can see that, but like for me, it doesn't really bother me. I'm not really trying to pay attention anyway. Like the things that bother me with WWE is like, why the fuck you change the camera angle when they're in the corner and they're just throwing punches? Like, just if they're shitty punches, tell them to throw really better looking punches or not do it. Like, but it definitely did creep forward, and like you're right, it's going forward. It ain't going back no time soon.
You know, when I want to beat my son ass, I need a big nice bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know, they should have had Ray do one of those.
Yeah,
but they did a Pat McAfee and Miz thing. It was awful. Some people like Pat McAfee, some people don't like him. I'll say this: he makes WWE fans feel good about liking WWE, and you know, he's a very big podcaster, and he's gonna write his own ticket and call his own shots at this point. I think he don't need to do this shit at all. He does this shit for fun, and they're happy to have him. So like, get used to seeing this guy. Even though we've seen his movies, we've seen him do his backflip off the ropes counter, and you know, I don't know if he really has interest in doing any more of that. He doesn't have to. Like, this guy's making hundreds of $1 million, if you don't know, on his podcast and shit like that. So he's here now. Like, get used to it.
So how much of the hating that Graves is doing, how much of that do you feel is real? What percent?
I'll say this. It ain't zero.
That's what I'm getting at.
It ain't zero. You'd be like, hold on, this man done came in and starting to take my trap.
Yeah.
Remember Corey Graves used to be on every show?
Yes, he did.
Not no more.
Said, no. We're moving you for this guy. And this guy don't even watch the shows.
Look, and then people started saying, we like Cole and McAfee. This is a legendary duo.
I didn't hear that, because you know, like,
this is the commentary team we like. Michael Cole has finally found his, you know, the person, like, you know, Taz used to be with him a long time ago. It is Cole and McAfee, like, and then Corey Graves is like, hold on, I've been calling shows for years with this nigga, like,
yeah. I look, man, I'm good. I'm good, like, watching pro wrestling without like McAfee or Graves yelling to my ear, like, just nonsense. So like, neither one has endeared themselves to me. Like, I do, but except for like, you know, years ago, like 2018 or some shit, or 17, when like Graves was still in NXT and was good then, but now it's totally different. But yeah, I guess it's time to move forward. Like, that match stunk. Like, it's crazy. McAfee took an L to Vince McMahon. last year, and now he's out here being a person that I believe is a 2-time Grand Slam champion, as if that matters. But like, this is a person that main event WrestleMania was. He's out here doing J.O. Beast and McAfee and getting punted. Yeah, crazy how that goes.
Night 1 main event, Raw Tag Team title match, or Smack Unified Tag Team title match, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. In this match, this ended up a great match as well. I don't think we got to some match of the year level or anything
Not
like
even
that.
close.
But they did get like a really great reception to this. Crowd was, and so this was like, oh, y'all do know how to like do some type of payoff here. Oh, you'll do it for the tag belts. Oh,
yeah.
That still is the thing that just throws like shit on this for me. I could give a fuck about those tag team belts, but they come to the ring with the PWG stuff on their gear, and there was like this subtext of the Indies versus WWE and Reseda, and all these super kicks. Look, all these super kicks, man.
And they came from Pensacola.
Have we asked a question, James? Like, were the Usos trying to pay tribute to the Young Bucks?
Which year?
Look, a bunch of super kicks in Southern California against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I feel like somewhere in history this has happened before.
No, you're missing what I'm saying. You're
down
saying,
the road.
You're saying like you asked me, are the Usos paying tribute to the Young Bucks because of all the super kicks? And my question is, which year did they start doing it? Because it's been years.
2013.
It's been years. Look, man, we're all watching.
This is the ultimate tribute.
And so many super kicks start happening that it's easy to telegraph when super kicks come in. I start doing the thigh slap with it. Like, and by that point in time, by the end of the match, I was like, damn, man, my thighs sore from doing so much of this. Like, it was, bro, I saw somebody clip up all the super kicks, and it came out to a total of 22 super kicks in that match.
Had to be more. Like, did they count them how we counted them?
I didn't. Like, they counted the double super kicks as 2.
As 2, okay.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
22.
I still think that's low. I still think that's low. But I still saw the video, and there were at least 22. That's for sure.
They set this up like a really traditional match. Kevin Owens, all he wanted to do was jump off shit from the second.
Yes.
Like one team wanted to work really fast, and one team wanted to work really slow. It seemed like.
Yeah.
And it ended up with lots of selling for Sami Zayn. I was confident that he was shot at this point. Like, and we ain't really to be expecting, high work rate out of Sami Zayn anymore at this point. I don't think that's his thing. But credit to him for getting over, like, taking advantage of an opportunity to put you on screen with the top unit and stuff like that. And it's up to you to see how far you can run with it, and this man ran to a night 1 main event. So, who's to say he couldn't actually be the main event? I think the people would have been with him. I don't think I saw someone that was more over than him between both days. But in the end, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, after like 3 haluva kicks, get it done. And this was an awesome match, like great crowd environment. And I think I understand why people say, like, yo, this is like, if they're really into it, I can appreciate it. But I'll probably go 4 1/4 on this one.
I think I went 4 flat on it. Now, I threw this out as a theory while just watching it because I haven't seen Sami Zayn in so long since in a real match since the Elimination Chamber match. And I was like, bro, like, this ain't no dude that wrestled as if like this is the biggest match of his career or he could possibly whatever else. Is Sammy done? Because we've seen Sammy be fucking incredible over the years. And to see this match and to see the way it was laid out and like how much of the heavy lifting from the babyface side was done by Kevin Owens, a guy that had double knee surgery a few years ago. You mentioned like Sammy might just be done and, he's over now. And we've seen this a lot of times in WWE where somebody's like physical prime is past them, but they got over now. So now it's their time and they're going to try to make most of it. And like, this is Sammy's time to make the most of it for whatever he has left in his body. And, it's a happy story. So whatever. I just hope that like nobody's expecting him to go out there with like Seth Rollins or with like Walter or like Gunther and like tear the house down. I don't think that's in the cards. If people want that out of him anymore, like that 2016, 15 Sami Zayn, like that doesn't exist anymore as far as like going out there and being like could be the best guy in the world on a given night. I don't think that's in the cards anymore.
Yeah, but overall, day one, phenomenal WrestleMania. Beautiful arena. Love the whole vibe of the arena, like the stage, and that they put the show together. Like, and it's like when WWE, like this is like them having like a good night in like 2016 or something like that, where it's like, oh yeah, leave it up to the wrestlers, and then like the presentation enhanced a lot of stuff. That Rey Mysterio and Snoop Dogg thing was awesome. Some of the entrances were cheap, but some of them they actually took time on. Like the Rey and Dom thing, Charlotte and Rhea just came out there and was like, let's have this one for us. And, they went out there and did it. I was very impressed on night one by WWE. I was like, man, should we like maybe it is turning around a little bit. And then let's get to night two.
Oh, man. So night two starts with Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Woo! And they went out there and had the shittiest, tiredest, most formulaic, like pro wrestling school 6 weeks in ass match where it's a big guy versus a even bigger guy, and can the big guy that's the small guy in this match like lift the biggest guy, and the biggest guy is just taking the big guy that's a small guy, taking his bag, taking his legs, really taking his bag, making it harder for him to lift. And then can the big guy that's a small guy in the match, can he lift the biggest big guy in the match eventually? And he's going to sell that he can, and inevitably he does. And then the crowd goes wild. It's like, bro, this is like this is pro wrestling psychology 101. This may not be the first story they ever teach you, but it's like one of the first 5. Like, and for Brock Lesnar to be making that much money to do that shit is like, how fucking lazy is this fucking guy?
Amazing.
Like, when's the last time Brock Lesnar tried hard? Like the Rumble that year?
Brock trying hard is not Brock's thing. He's going to get in there with Cody. I don't know if Cody is going to have it to where
Cody better talk to Moxley right now.
I don't know.
He needs to be on the phone right now.
I don't know how he's going to safeguard himself from the Brock Lesnar formula of like these short matches where nothing but finishers, because Cody's going to want to really work a match. And the thing about Cody is like, Cody has a similar mindset as Moxley. You can do whatever you want to me. I'll take whatever, but I just want to do a match. Right, but I don't think Brock's interested in
Brock
that.
Don't want to do a match. And my point is like the same situation that Brock had when Brock was, when Moxley was trying to run down Brock for WrestleMania 32 and be like, hey, bro, I want to sit down with you and talk about what we're going to do in the match. And he's the SM third. And then like Brock kept saying, we'll get to it. And they don't talk about shit until they talk like for like 5 minutes the day of the show about what they're going to do out there. And then later Brock was like, well, if I had more time, we could have done more shit. It's like, motherfucker, we have the time now. I'm talking to you now. Don't blow me off. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Cody needs to talk to Moxley about how to handle Brock Lesnar right now if he wants to actually have a match that's not going to embarrass the fuck out of him.
Yeah. After that, I got nothing on this. This is Undertaker versus El Gigante.
I would say it's better than that. But like that match was like, yeah, good.
Look, the crowd was into it. They was big and they was bouncing off each other, and it was like, all right, but it went short. He got him up, picked the big dude up, F5'd him. We're out, and we're on to Minneapolis. We're on to Cincinnati after that.
Yeah. So next match after that, you end up getting the the women's fatal 4-way tag team match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi. Yeah, this match was bad. This match was not good at all. I don't know, man. What do you have to say about this match other than it was crummy?
I think the Booty Warrior would have found kinship in this match because it too was booty. You know, when you're looking at like these showcase matches, and sometimes in the women's division, it's almost like hey, get in where you fit in. This is about your outfit. This is about your entrance. Like, what can you do to kind of just like, you're here. You got a couple minutes to make the stage yours. I don't think anybody really did anything in this match that was, really substantial, except Sonya Deville. For some reason, Sonya Deville hit so hard. Like, I want to see more of her wrestle. Like, she's kicking the fuck out of people, like hitting hard. That was the only thing I really took from this match.
Like, one thing I'll take from this match is that, like, they and this has always been the case. Like, for some reason, I don't know if this is actually a character or if she just has heat with somebody backstage, but Chelsea Green is like the biggest geek in the entire women's division. It's like, before she got brought back, she was treated in such a way too. And that was even getting back to NXT where she would lose all her fucking matches. Like, this can't be a character where this person just like, is just in kayfabe incompetent while also not being the worst wrestler in that division. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, she's just a geek, a total geek.
Ronda Rousey, a total non-factor in this match. Of course, she came into it with the broke arm, but was not missing that payday. Likely got all what she was going to get. Got in there, came out with the gi. I think she didn't take any bumps, so she was on that Togi Makabe, and she got the finish. Yeah, not really much to write at home about here.
No, not at all. Bad match.
This currently has a 3.62 on Cage Match.
Yeah, stank. But anyway, get that shit out of the way. Now we're really celebrating. 3-way Intercontinental title match. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. And man,
brother,
they went out there and had one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. That shit was awesome.
Brother, this was thrilling. This should have been the main event. This was incredible. Incredible fight, incredible sequencing, passion in this between all these guys. I was just amazed at the physicality and the working between all three of these guys. I didn't want to see this match when it was announced. It was like, yo, I know it's going to be good, but I'll take a singles match of any of the two over a 3-way. I have to shut the fuck up now forever.
That's like, that's where I was with it on you as far as like I want to see the match, but if you ask me like any combination of the three in a singles match, I would prefer that as well. They went out there and had a match so damn good that it was like, it may as well have been a singles match. They kind of worked it like that except for certain moments.
Bro,
hey,
I went 4 3/4 on this, and
same.
I only didn't go 5 because Sheamus didn't win. If Sheamus would have won, I would have gone 5 stars with this.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought this was like, this is classic. This is like, Tomohiro Ishii would love this match.
This match is great.
This is a never division classic. This is, how many years in a row is Walter going to be in the best WWE match?
It's been every year since 2019.
Brother, 2018.
What was the 18 match?
Tyler Bate and you're right. 2019 was the Tyler Bate match.
Yeah. So
this was phenomenal. This was just like McIntyre, Sheamus, like Sheamus, a complete reinvention of his career. A long time ago on One Nation Radio, we told you guys that Sheamus and Gunther is one of the best pairings in WWE history. I don't think that's up for debate at all. Like, I mean, when I say the best, I'm talking about like 3, 5, 2.
So
like, they ain't missing out here.
Yeah. I have a question for you, right? This is weird because I don't know if he's actually over 250 right now. Let's say Walter is over 250 right now. Wait. Who are the pro wrestlers that weigh 250 pounds that are better than Walter, Gunther, and McIntyre right now? Are there any? I'm not hearing Roman Reigns shit. Like anyone's house in comment and say Roman Reigns. No. I'm talking about in-ring work. I'm talking about in-ring work, period. Like I'm not getting into that with you about the guy and then the bloodline and all that shit. No.
I don't know if Sheamus is above 250. I don't think so.
Sheamus is definitely above 250. He's bigger than Walter.
Okay, I'll put Sheamus right in there with those three guys or those two guys. And like Lance Archer's not doing this right now. Keith Lee's not doing this right now.
Right. Dijakovic could do this, but they haven't done shit with him in years.
Yeah. This is a rare class of guys. These three right here. That this is an all-time match. I feel like,
it is.
Especially like where it happened, and especially in that company because they care about things like that. Like, oh, you did it at fucking. You did it on Raw. You did it at Fully Loaded. You did it at fucking. I don't know. Fucking, you did it in the September pay-per-view. No, they did it at WrestleMania. Like, how long are we gonna sit Gunther behind Roman Reigns, or keep him away? Like, how long are we gonna participate in this charade when Gunther blows him out of the water on all these big shows? What are we doing?
Look, man, I get what you're saying. However,
he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. It's not even close.
It's way up there. You're probably right.
Bro, this nigga's a phenomenon. Or Walter. And then I have, and the thing is, I was rooting for Sheamus the whole time. Sheamus is completely he was so over. He was like a god. This was a god performance for Sheamus.
All three of them were fucking awesome in this match.
All three of them. Drew McIntyre was giving out the hardest chops.
He was out chopping Walter. That shit was fucking wild. Look, man. I asked the question I wanted to ask you about, were they amongst the dudes over 250 pounds? Hey, man. Walter, for me, is top 5 in the history of that company. Now, that's it. In ring, as far as who has best, first off, I don't know who has better 5 best matches than him, other than Gargano or Shawn. So just starting with that. But we say, put your 10 best matches from the history you've had in this promotion. Angle ain't topping that.
Yeah.
I'd have to go through the Benoit stuff, but Benoit wasn't around in WWE as long.
Brock's not on these guys' levels. He could be, but Brock? He don't want to work too hard. Brock.
No. Really the answer is Shawn, Gargano, Brett. You might be able to slip Austin in on something.
Or Cena. Maybe
Cena, because Cena has such a long
Bryan
list
Danielson or Daniel Bryan, but I don't know if he really got AJ Styles.
What's his best matches?
I would have to pull it up, but
okay, yeah.
There's AJ, there's him.
The thing with AJ is AJ was great at having a million matches that are 4 and in between in the low 4s. He never really, outside of maybe the Cena matches, he never really just broke way past 4.5. So yeah, it's even that is he's in rarefied air, and this is a guy that they never really want to do this with. He's been so fucking awesome. He begrudgingly, and he's tall, that they begrudgingly have done this. Had he been 6 inches shorter, they would have never done this with him.
Bro, he's phenomenal, bro.
Yes,
and it's just I think they should be going with him. He's not going to talk. He's not going to do any of this stuff. They're going to treat him like he's this, he's this novelty kind of, he's not American. He's not, whatever. But you got Cody Rhodes in that company. Of course, they fucked him up and everything like that. And, we always kind of look at who's going to beat Roman Reigns, and then it's well, why the fuck is Gunther being kept away from him like this?
Rich.
They gave him a championship, just like how they gave Jade Cargill a championship to keep her away from the main champion.
Yeah,
they're doing this with Gunther right now.
Yeah,
we need some resolution on this. Aaliyah,
in a world where like the belts never got put together, or in a world where Roman Reigns isn't the top heel and a top babyface, Gunther should be the top heel in this company. And they already tested this out when they put him in at first in the Rumble and had him go all the way and be the last person eliminated against Cody. They should, if they were really into Cody, that should be the fucking feud. Gunther as a champion versus Cody, and Cody has to topple him. Or you turn Roman babyface, and then the champion is Gunther, and he has to conquer Gunther. Gunther should be the top heel in this promotion, and the babyface has to go to the biggest show and go through 3 dozen chops to get and beat him. That's what it should be. He's fucking awesome. But Roman's top babyface and the top heel. Cody is in the other brand right now.
So he's just left with that Intercontinental title, like on an island. Like whoever wants to step over here, you're gonna start having some of the best matches of your life. Like,
yeah. And we don't even know
the
who,
whole thing was.
We don't even know who
like
the next person is for him because they don't.
Like I say
not
all
that big
that
priority.
Right. I say all that, and I think Sheamus should have won, especially at WrestleMania here. And maybe they want to do it in the singles, but Sheamus has something right now going. So hope he gets it.
Like Cody, he hasn't been this hot since like a decade.
Yeah. And he's like 45.
Right.
What the fuck is happening? Raw Women's title match.
Well, we move on. When Drew pulled or yanked Sheamus off of him and they start fighting on the outside, they might want to consider McIntyre turning heel. Just so they can continue doing McIntyre versus Sheamus.
McIntyre versus Sheamus was awesome the last time they did it. It was like the last pay-per-view before crowds came back. That's right. Awesome. Right.
But I'm saying like now you can continue with the dynamic being changed where Sheamus is, before they were, at one point Sheamus was heel, then they were friends and they're both baby faces. You can keep it going by like having Drew turn heel and Sheamus being the baby face. If they want to do that.
We'll see if Drew McIntyre remains with the promotion.
Good point.
Because if he wants to look elsewhere, Doc, what's good, man?
Look, man.
The xenophobic Cody versus Gunther feud. Yeah, there's bound to be some bullshit in that.
I agree. It is WWE. It will be a xenophobic promo or program. Anything that Gunther's in. Remember, they had him out there. When they changed his name, it was always on some shit like that. So you got to be wary of all that stuff with Gunther. That's true. So the next match after this, the Raw Women's title match, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. They were put in a terrible position in sequencing of this card, and I feel like it hurt part of the match. Also, the first probably half of this match was uncharacteristically sloppy for a Bianca Belair big match and for an Asuka match in general. But by the end, they got together in that final act. They were cooking.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were cooking like the last minute or so. But the very first half of that shit was it was weird. Something was wrong. It was like they just were not on the same, they were wrestling different matches. It felt like it was a lot of the same for a while. It was a lot of it's like they're drilling the story in your head of what the story is. It's submission specialist versus powerhouse, and Asuka kept getting her in submissions, and Bianca kept powering her out into lifts or slams or whatever else, and it kept being the same. It felt like a lot of samey for a while, or at least probably once we got out of the opening few minutes of the match, and it was like, okay, we get the story. Now where are we gonna get the counters and and change people's expectations in the match? And then we finally got it, and I was like, okay, this is what the match should have been a few minutes earlier, but this match is still cooking. I think I was looking for something out of this match, maybe that wasn't there. I was looking for Bianca to turn or something, or cheat, or just something, because
something
now
status quo.
Yeah, now as it stands, it's almost like she's cleared out that entire Raw side. It's been for a year.
Yeah.
She's not someone that is going to carry like lesser people. Like, if you get Bianca in there with a great opponent, she's going to have a great match. That's been the case for several years in a row at WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah.
But as far as like when it comes to people with less experience being in there with her, that's not really her thing. Bianca's got like, she's from the PC, so like she can have good matches with good workers, but like when she's not in there with somebody real, it's like
it can be
like and I think it would be interesting to explore just another side of her at this point. Don't get it wrong, love Bianca Belair. Just from my personal view, I think like it would be entertaining personally, but I think the and then a lot of people felt bad Asuka lost this, and it's just like y'all sent Asuka out here to lose again on one of these WrestleManias.
What's her record in WrestleMania? 0-5 or something like that?
She's 0-5 or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean she should have won the first match in WrestleMania. But I mean, I'm not going to relitigate that. It is what it is. Especially given what they did the night or 2 nights after or 3 nights after. But yeah, I didn't think that didn't like fit into what I thought of the match as far as like what I rated. I thought it was, something that could have approached 4 stars. I probably would go 3 3/4. Kick-ass match. Just took a while to get to, to get things going. But once it did, it was there. It was all there. I'm interested to see like this one match where like, if you have a different winner, you're like, okay, we can see what happens with the other side of that roster. Or that division, but now it's like, okay, like you mentioned, cleared out everybody. Now what? Are we just now relying on a draft or a change up of the roster or whatever, shake up, whatever they call them, or the wild card, whatever the hell they're doing now to justify whatever they're doing. Like I think it's what it comes down to. Because
our whole, I think the last thing Bianca really has left, or they have 2 things for Bianca left, right? They have her versus Charlotte, which they've never done, and I think Charlotte needs to put her over at some point.
Yep.
And her versus Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Which they haven't done.
Yep.
So
they're both champions, so it can't do that.
They're both champions, so they're gonna be away from each other. But I believe they face off with each other tonight. But I don't know if this is just some Raw after WrestleMania shit. So
okay.
Yeah, and then you start looking at NXT. Were they going to bring Tiffany Stratton? No. Like, come on, man. Are they going to try to reheat Lacey Evans? Like,
oh god,
for Bianca? Like, like it could get like ugly at some points. But
I forgot she was still around.
Yep. Man,
that's crazy.
We won that one.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, Rich, remember, like after WrestleMania 35, when it looked like they were going to they threw, Lacey Evans to the main event scene for the women's division. They were like, bro, there is Rhea Ripley and there is Bianca Belair in NXT in developmental. What the fuck are they doing? Flash forward to 2023 and both of them win at WrestleMania. Why are they so far behind them when they see them every day and we only see them at most once a week?
I don't know, man.
That was an entire segment when we lost our minds about that shit.
Yeah. Like that was in 2019 and that was unplanned. That was like, what the fuck is going on? Like it was like a real like come to Jesus moment. Like, why the fuck aren't you like talking about like Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley?
Right.
There was a lot of agendas that play there. I was trying to bang a certain drum, but it was still right. At the end of the day, like, I wouldn't even concern about banging an agenda. I was just like, hey man, these two are way the fuck up here, and this person is way the fuck down here. Why is this person above them on TV wasting our time? And she's been washed out ever since then. Man,
how many relaunches have they tried with her and they've all failed? How many?
Bro, I saw her dressing like Sergeant Slaughter on Instagram the other day. So she come out with that fucking hat that's like all the way up in the back, talking about, the Nazis called you swastika, like, and where you from, England, like looking like she's in that movie. I'm just gonna be like, wow. There's been at least like 4 or 5 repackages with her.
Yes.
So after that, we got.
Yeah.
We got the Miz back in the ring.
Yeah.
Because they have to do the same segment and lay out the show the same way. Both days.
Also, like, Snoop Dogg set Miz up to catch that L from Pat McAfee on night 1. And then we don't see either one of them again until the opening of WrestleMania night 2. And
it's like, y'all ain't got beef?
And then they proceed to act like nothing had happened. And then all of a sudden, like 2 hours or 3 hours go by on night 2 show. And now Miz wants to say, hey, you set me up for the L. That's bullshit. And I'm like, why would you start the show with him then?
Refuse to perform.
Why do we have these people like it's all about like do the thing and then act like a human afterwards as opposed to act like a human first? Right. Whatever. Movies, I guess. Whatever. I thought they told movies. But anyway.
Man.
But anyway, so Snoop motions towards somebody coming out. Shane comes down. I'm like, why is Shane out here? Rich almost busts a fucking vein.
Bro,
I see him send out.
I was in disbelief seeing Shane McMahon walk. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Why are we still doing this? I can't believe this fucking asshole is here. I don't want to see him. He's ruining the show. Like I was apoplectic before he got in the ring. This guy gets in the ring, bro. He gets in the ring and then like he's fucking gassed. Like this man's out of breath. This man looked like he smoked 10 packs of Marlboro Reds and then ran a marathon or something.
First thing he does, he fucking jabs Miz in the face, immediate potato. And I was like, God damn, he hasn't learned a damn thing. He was potatoing people since his whole career. First time back since he got the whole situation happening at Rumble a year or two ago. And the first thing he does is potato a motherfucker. So then the match is happening, and I'm looking at the stuff you're sending. I'm out of it. I'm just like, whatever, this match is going to stink. So I'm like, I'm paying passive attention to it while I'm looking at all the stuff people are saying. And next thing I know, I look up, he's on the ground. And like the crowd, and like they're tending to him. I'm like, oh, he's hurt. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this looks like I don't read anything, so this like has to be like a non-contact injury. So I'm like, oh no, he blew his knee out. So he's down on the ground, and ultimately turns out to be he tore a quad. But I was like, oh wow, this man blew his knee out on a non-contact injury.
James, this man did a leapfrog. This man did a leapfrog, jumping up and down as God intended.
And he tore a quad.
And then pivoted, and then folded up like origami. And then he just... Like I would love, that
he tried to get up. I give him this. He tried to get up, and then his body said, "Sit your ass down. We're done."
I would like that dude that does
tour quad. You are not Triple H on gas.
I would like the dude that does those college football breakdowns, like where he makes the jokes, like and runs the video footage back. Yeah. I would love him to do the Shane McMahon WrestleMania 39 highlight tape.
Oh man!
And talk about how that man jumped and then fell, like, and then just didn't get back up. Like Humpty Dumpty.
I saw someone tweet out that Stephanie McMahon now has a husband, a father, and a brother that have all torn quads. And I was like, people should
runs in the family.
People should be at it. Don't run in the family. What runs in the family is what they use.
The juice.
why them shits tear on them? Like, look, bro. Like that shit. His ass shouldn't have been out there. And this is what happened.
We know he didn't train. James, we know he didn't train ahead of time.
And if he did train, he ain't training for plyometrics, running and jumping and stopping and starting. Like, when's the last time you think Shane McMahon stretched his quadriceps? When's the last time you think that man stretched that erectus femoris? When do you think that happened?
Bro, that shit was definitely not no time in the last 3 months. Like, this man got a call about a week ago. Hey, you want to come in for WrestleMania? We'll bring you in as a surprise, whatever. Bro, this man came out there and was like, in LA, I shall act like Kawhi Leonard. I have a bad quad now. Man.
I'll say this though. He got off lucky because it could have been a torn Achilles.
Brother.
And they had to go all in the back of that man's leg. So it's gonna suck whenever he gets done, or maybe he's able to, it didn't fully tear and he's able to, rehab or whatever else without surgery. But if it was,
brother, that shit was an ultimate L, bro. Because I was. You guys do not know how frustrated and mad I was. I was so grumpy at this point after Sheamus didn't win. I was like, I was pissed, bro.
So then he goes down, and then what happened? How did your mood change after that?
I started laughing. I'm sorry.
Levity.
I know injuries are not funny. I hope Shane Man, resumes his quality of life afterwards. But in that moment, I'm not at the place in my journey where I am able to turn away from this with dignity and sorrow immediately. I just wasn't that responsible, James. I'm sorry.
If you laughed at Vince McMahon tearing his quads at that 2005 Royal Rumble, you are. I believe that you are allowed to also laugh at this one. Because to be honest, I feel like this one was funnier. So I had a tweet that I had in the drafts, and I was like, "This is not the right time or place to say it. It's probably not the right time or place to mention it." But I had saved it, and then I had screenshot and I sent it to Rich, and then I had let it go. But are you pulling it up?
Nah.
Okay. But I was like, prayers up for Shane McMahon, and it was per hands, and the per hands were upside down. Should have had your ass out there, man. He's so over this shit.
Unbelievable, man.
Look, how many times has he been around old timers that talk about the motion is a lotion, this and the third? He is not like Edge. I seriously doubt that he was like Edge, where they mailed him, a ring, and he put together and he worked out with people or whatever else. I'm pretty sure that man got on the plane and said, Reebok's on, I just do it. And he now you got to sit your ass down for a long time. So
unbelievable, man.
Yeah. Imagine after the last time we ever see him.
God bless him.
Yeah. Yeah. So
then
so we got to talk about the save. So everyone looking at each other like, fuck, we're done here. Snoop was like, Snoop just stole on this.
Bro, so check this out. I don't know how you were watching the show, but I was watching it with headphones on, right?
Uh-huh.
So
I
you know how the ring.
I had headphones on.
Okay, the ring's all mic'd up. I hear the referee lady say "rock bottom" to Snoop, or people's elbow to Snoop.
Okay.
From there, Snoop springs into action.
Yeah. I don't know what Snoop. I think Snoop got on the mic for a split second, right? And it said something. Threw a right, threw another right, drop Miz. He does a people's elbow, and he pins the Miz. And I'm like, he wasn't in the match. What is happening right now?
Snoop ran the wrong way for the people's elbow, so he was on the other side.
It don't matter.
On the other side.
It don't matter. Snoop do what he want.
Bro. Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Look, WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. Forever.
Moments.
Forever.
So then after this, then we get this bullshit. Edge versus Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match.
Excuse me, James.
Edge,
Brood Edge.
Yes, Brood Edge. Yeah, I don't recall Brood Edge ever having vampire wings, but whatever.
James, I don't remember Brood Edge existing.
Being in an entity with powers, you mean? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I agree.
I never recall him being named Brood Edge.
True. But you wouldn't know. But you call him Vampire Edge, you don't. I don't think you know the gimmick or whatever else. I guess it's why he's whatever.
Bro, they put it on the fucking Tron. And
really, I missed that. It
said Brood Edge on there, bro. I was like, I can't believe this is happening, because I was like, this was not a character. This was like he's not coming out in no frilly shirt. What's going on here?
It's been updated.
What is this? I guess he played some song from Slayer or something.
Yeah. Song was hard. At first, to be honest with you, for a split second, I thought it was actually Finn Balor, and I looked, I was like, nah, that's Edge. Doesn't seem like something. That seems kind of out of
This is kind of where I started noticing some of the entrances were cheap this year too. But then when Balor walked to the ring, he came out and he's just crawling, and then he's got like these smoke bombs in his hand. It's like purple smoke and shit, and I'm like, this is all we could do. I was like, I remember all these WrestleMania budgets where Triple H had some shit where he looked like he spent $250,000 on the entrance or something. Like where's the budget? Who got to spend that?
Well,
it was cheap. Niggas was walking to the ring, you know. Niggas, music was getting hit. They was looking around and walking that long ramp.
Oh man, this is unfair.
They walked their ass out. Then they get in the ring. That's it.
Oh man. So yeah,
some of them cats wasn't even getting pyro.
Yeah.
Bro, I was checked out on this match. I started timing this match, right? I thought we were gonna get the Edge special, the 35-minute whatever, right? We didn't get that. We got 18 minutes, and there was a an injury spot and all that in the match. But James, I was checked out on this match 2 minutes into it. The second I saw a red chair, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, it had to be Edge. He had to do this on purpose. And then I saw more than one of them eventually, and I was like, I was exactly correct. And then I saw a purple kendo stick. I was like, why are the weapons like assigned colors? Like what is this? Like, and I was out of the match from there. And then it descended into just no, like, I won't say it was as bad as Seth Rollins and The Fiend, right? Like,
hell no, it was way better
like
than
this.
that.
This is leagues better than that, right?
Yeah.
However, that same feeling of like, yo, they're just walking around setting shit up and like doing a bad brawl, that was definitely there. And I was like, I was totally out of this match, and I was just like, Edge got to go home, man.
So I was fine with it as far as what they were doing. I didn't care about the color coordination. I did notice it, but I didn't care. Because, they're both wrestling dorks, so it's fine. For me and from my perspective. So whatever. Once they did the spot where they put Edge on the table and I believe Finn Balor's hitting him with stuff, and as he's hit him with stuff and Edge on the table, I can see the cut that's halfway in the middle part of the board getting wider and wider, as if like, I was like, is he going to hit him with one shot and like thing breaks? Because that would be fucking hilarious. Luckily it didn't. And the next thing I know, Balor crawls up the cage, and the next thing I know, there's a fucking standing perch on there. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's a standing perch on the side where like where the camera is that is rigged up to the cage to where like you can see like, basically like a hard camera angle of the cage, but there's no other perches on any other side. Like, this is intentionally there just so they can do this one fucking spot. And I was like, bro, this is so contrived. Once I saw that, like, it made me check out on the match, but I was okay with what was happening until that point. Like, so after that, I was like, whatever, it's an average Hell in a Cell match, so chalk up to 3.5 and move on.
Finn Balor took a fucking ladder in the top of the head and split his shit to the white meat. They had to stop the match for like 4 and 5 minutes, and they gave him a numbing agent. They stapled his head, closed the wound. And it was just like
that killed the match. That killed the match, or made the match worse. It definitely didn't bring the match better. Because it's like,
they had to start rushing after that.
Regardless of it being PG or not, once you have a Hell in a Cell, and this is the big blow-off cage match, and you have to stop a match because someone's bleeding, it's just fundamentally going to hurt the match, because it kills your disbelief that these two are going to go out there and hit each other with a million things and anything can happen. No, anything can't happen because he's not allowed to fucking bleed. And if you're an old wrestling fan like we are, we saw the first 2 Hell in a Cell matches where Shawn's bleeding fucking buckets. He's might be 8 on the Muda scale. And then Mick Foley was stacked, like the combo points when you have like hit combination in fighting games, and was stacking concussions like combos.
Yes.
I mean, it was multiplying out there.
He did have like a very deep top of the head cut.
Absolutely did. He absolutely did.
So like, I want to kind of give him some, like I'm not gonna go.
We know Balor's a tough fucker. He would have fought through.
Yeah.
He would have fought and bled through and finished that whole match if they had let him. We know that.
Right.
Like there's a dude that, and I brought it up on the thing. Like how long did he continue wrestling with that broken jaw against O'Reilly at that takeover main event?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a tough
10
motherfucker.
minutes.
And this is the second time we've seen him being a big spot, and like there's blood that happens, and the match has to get stopped dead in its tracks, and it's hurt his matches. It happened with Samoa Joe in that one title match in NXT Takeover. Mm-hmm. He's been unlucky in this case. In another unfortunate situation, they had to stop it dead, and they continue fighting again, like they're fighting to the death. Meanwhile, you're not allowed. You have to, any blood happens, people immediately rush in and stop the match. It's like, well, then call it off. Then he loses. I mean, they may well have lost some blood stoppage on the TKO because he got beat by Edge. How old is Edge now?
48.
Yeah,
49,
Concerto. Get him out of here.
Like
hey, man.
Yeah. Edge is 49.
49. Yeah, hey, man. Like, for years, like, fans had talked about, like, the demon and, like, the Muda-like quality of being able to tap into something else to be something greater than you are, or just because the thing of like the different look from the paint or whatever else. His last two matches have been he's been fucking hoed as the demon. It's done. It's done. They killed it. They didn't use it forever. They were going to try and kill it during that match when he's going to have against Sister Abigail. Luckily, not luckily, but like Wyatt got the mumps or meningitis, whatever one it was, and then they had to cancel that, and they brought in AJ instead, and that kind of saved Balor in the demon. They brought it back, and the first thing they did was they beat him twice in a row. It's done. Finn Balor the Demon is done.
Unbelievable. Then there was 40 minutes between the end of this match and the start of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. It was literally 40 minutes because it was about 10:41 when the video package just started. I was like, bro, they're not going to ring this bell until 11. And this is what we talk about, the artificial fluff on these shows. So like when you see like, yo, there's only 7 matches on these shows or some shit, and then the show just ends up long as fuck anyway. And it's like, not only the video packages and entrances, which are the normal culprit, it's like the commercials between the video packages and like just whatever the fuck else they want to throw in there. They did the Hall of Fame also in between this, right? They got them out of there, and then it was like, all right, they just killed like 45 minutes of no wrestling. Like, I'm like, this had to be a miserable live experience.
There also was this part where like, and I don't remember this ever happening before, where like they're throwing to the video package for the match, or they just showed the video package and then they go to commercial break before they get to the people come out for the entrances, or they'll throw to a match that has a video package. Then a commercial comes in without them saying the commercial's coming in. You see the 30 seconds or 40 seconds, however long the commercial is, and then you get to the video package. Just from the presentation of like, hey, this is a TV show, and we got stuff going, from A to B to C to Z. Throwing these commercials in these certain spots are like, you don't do that. Go to the commercial fucking now and then do that. And then go through your whole thing. Like, you don't throw commercials in randomly, especially because it's like, this isn't on TV. This isn't a TV show. This is a pay-per-view / live event happening. Like, put the commercials in spots that are not intrusive like that. Like, it was so jarring throughout both nights. And it was weird because I was like, wait, are they doing what I think they're doing? And at first I thought I was tripping. And then it happened for the trailer for, as the sale was going down, I was like, bro, they're actually doing this. I wasn't just tripping from Saturday. They're out of their minds.
Yeah, man. It's so bad with the pacing, and it's never going to change. Like, it's never going to change. And then back to the main event is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns.
Hold on. You know what they treated it like? They treated it as if like you're watching a YouTube video, and it's a longer video that's longer than like 5 minutes. So like you watch, you sit through your commercial, you play whatever you're playing, the video plays, And then like a minute later, another fucking thing comes. That's what it felt like. It was like, why is this happening on a show that we paid for?
Right.
What the fuck's going on?
Right. Main event, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. We talked about it earlier. As far as the match goes, you know, I don't understand the Roman Reigns, victory here. I think it's a bad decision. I think it is missing the point if you were actually taking this guy serious, which maybe they're not, in Cody Rhodes. I think everything's just backwards. And this is the environment that WWE has cultivated. It's down in their developmental. It's all the way to the top of their main event. And they had a chance to go with one of two hot baby faces, three if you count McIntyre. They said, fuck you to all of them. And it was just like, when I saw the three, I was like, this is what he got beat off of? Like, this is it?
One spear. That's it.
Spear and a spike from a lackey and Paul Heyman interference that works. Like, these heels don't ever get thwarted at the end. Like, doesn't matter if it's the biggest show of the year, they just roll it over.
Like, no, but here's what
WrestleMania 2000.
Here's what an apologist will say. Well, there was thwarting of the heels at one point because the Quebecers came out and they got rid of the Usos. It's like, but there's two other motherfuckers that's cheating throughout the match.
Right. Why didn't they get rid of everyone?
Like their logic, like, motherfucker was cheating throughout the match, got caught while helping at the cheating beginning, got thrown out. Then it was a match. Then it was close to even, and then there was a rough bump, and then the Usos came in, and then the Quebecers got the Usos out of there. Then the next thing you know, you're going back and forth, big move, final stretch. And then Heyman takes the ref, and then the fucker that got kicked out comes back with a hoodie on. So, incognito. In the words of Dusty Rhodes, incognitus.
Like we ain't know who you were. Like, you stand
because he put a fucking hoodie on. Nigga, you're barefoot.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like, nigga, you're barefoot and your feet are wrapped in fucking ankle wraps, and you're wearing the same shorts. How do you think? How were you trying? How was this a disguise at all? How did no one see you? How did security not stop you? How did the referee suddenly hear you interfering earlier, then no longer hear you after he got kicked in the stomach? Apparently James getting kicked in the stomach sacks your hearing.
And froggy, yes.
Yeah, apparently that's like, like there was so much, like, as far as like the overbooking aspect of this, that was just absolutely like catastrophically bad.
There was also the
comedy
WWE main event style, which is big move, kick out, look around and lay down and just sit there while you have the advantage. Just sit there and waste it for 45 seconds so the replay crew can replay the big move and the kick out, and then you can get up and you can try to hit another move, and the guy actually just reversed it and hit their big move, so now it's their turn to big move and kick out, and then they can lay around 45 seconds and stare around. They did that, bro. They did big move, kick out, replay like at least 3 times in a row. I think it was 4 times in a row. And I was like, all right, bro, fuck me. I just like the wrestling and the story they were telling with before they threw out Sokoa, I thought it was fine. Or not fine, good even. And I thought Cody's selling of the ribs up to that point was good. And then they never got back to the ribs, so it was ultimately just something just to do. But that's fine, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in some matches where like that's like he didn't get hurt, damaged that bad to where like it affected the whole entire match. Just the portion of the match, he overcame it, fine. But big move kick out, big move kick out, big move kick out, and then the Usos come in and all that shit, and I'm just like, at no point in this match, at any point ever, until the spear that I think someone is going to be put away one of these big moves or whatever else, and I was like, oh wow, I actually kicked out of that. There was not a single second that I thought Cody's winning here, Roman's winning here, until Roman hit that spear, and I was like, oh, that's it. And then sure enough, 1, 2, 3, dejected crowd, dejected Floyd on my thing, messaging. I was like, yo, man, this is.
It's that bullshit, man. It's that bullshit. It's like we knew it was going. Like, they were gonna pick Roman Reigns. Like, This nigga came from All Elite Wrestling. I'm going to say it again. He came over. It was all good, but the bill was always coming due. They never forgot you breaking that throne. They never forgot all them shots. It wasn't just.
They never forgot about.
They never forgot about free ride.
I was talking about motherfuckers wearing vests, flak vests either. That happened when ROH. Remember that?
Man, the FTRR. The fuck the Roman Reigns. Look, I'm telling you, what happened was one day there was a closed door meeting with Triple H, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Vince McMahon. Niggas got in a circle. They checked. They checked to see if the room was bugged. They checked to see if the doors were locked and the windows were closed. And they said, I'm going to zoom. Got him. We fucking got him.
Oh, man.
We fucking got him. We got what we got.
Yeah, like I saw the match and
he thinks he's with us.
What I will say is I think that this match was better than the Sammy match because Cody has more to give in a big match setting than Sammy does. But this match was not as good as the Drew McIntyre match, and very much the same thing where it's like this is something in the mid threes to maybe even high threes, depending on if you're not as disillusioned with like the WWE big main event like system just overtaking like bro, like I remember when people would talk about like before the super boom of superhero movies, but like talk about like, let's say around 2014, we talk about like these superhero movies are formulaic in a way, like the CGI is always, they get to a big battle scene and then like you don't know where anything is. It's a bunch of just almost like NPCs, like just colliding or whatever from far away, and you're just supposed to see the laser light show or whatever else, and you don't really feel the engagement because these are battleships or these are people that you have no attachment to killing each other. And like when I watch these Roman matches, these Roman defenses since Clash of the Castle, I feel the same way where it's like there's no personality to this. It just, we get to this point and then it just flips on and it goes into overdrive and like the shit's on autopilot. And I'm just like, there's no heart, there's no soul to this. The crowd's going crazy for it, but it's like, if I played them like these matches on the Jumbotron, like the Drew McIntyre match first, then the Sammy match first, and then watch this, they will all be like, hey, he's just doing the same fucking thing every single time. But they just don't remember it. But I do because I have a good memory. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, this is formulaic and it's like not.
It's like we're waiting around.
And I'm just like, hey, like, some people love it or whatever else, but like I feel like people love it because they don't watch anything else, and that's them, or they're not even remembering like the things that they've seen before from Roman. Whatever. It's just very just feels lazy to me. Just feels lazy.
It's WCW Nitro in the middle of the good main event that they announced that it's like, oh shit, they're doing this on TV, and we all got our heads turned looking at the entrance to see who's coming to fuck it up.
Rich,
that's what it is. Rich, simple as that.
Rich, when the ref bump happened, that's all you see is the people in the background looking towards the entrance to see like where are the Usos. That's the first thought. Cole's already been thrown out, so of course the Usos showing up. And what do you know? Those who spring their ass out there, super kick. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. You ain't ran out of super kicks after yesterday? No. You got more to spare. It's a renewable resource. It's an unlimited resource.
They got them shits programmed as a regular move. Them shits not special.
Infinite finishers.
Yes. But yeah, man. Day 2 was severely weaker than day 1. This is the argument actually against 2-day WrestleManias. They showed enough discipline to put, I think it's 13 matches between both days. They still had to do their bullshit with their Miz and segments on both days and stuff like that. But like, you take Gunther and Walter, and then you take the world title match, slap that on day 1, we're probably talking about like the greatest WrestleMania of all time, possibly.
Yeah. But we can't do that because because we sold to Peacock or to NBC or Comcast Universal that like are, you know, all this stuff. So we got to give them WrestleMania because that's such a brand name that we have to make it 2 nights so that we can get more. We can say more people watch from the accounts that they have.
Absolutely ridiculous lies about attendance as well. Only 66,000 people fit in this, but somehow 80,000 people were there on first day, and then somehow more people were there the second day. Brother,
I mean, you know, they always lie about
that's their thing, but you know, it's just the cap is unlimited. Unlimited cap, like baseball, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, and then the best part is like you see someone go on Twitter and be like, they use the fake number and say, or actually it was Twitter. It was Caleb that did this. Right. Caleb was like, have they ever, you know, as AEW, will they ever have a, you know, 80,000 something thing? And I was like, well, WWE didn't. They just had 60. They just lied about the number. Caleb, what are you talking about?
Shut up.
Like first I'll answer your question. Probably not. Now, moving on from there, when's the last time WWE did that? Was it like WrestleMania 32?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, so whatever, man.
I did summon some questions about yesterday and stuff like that, so I figure we can try to get through these. We don't have to go too in depth. I don't think there's much elaborate fantasy booking and all that, but make sure you guys are downloading the show as always, getting your merch and you know, everything else. And I will be, for those of you guys on the Twitch, I'm going to be doing some research on what's going on with my shit that's making the frames drop somehow. But to those questions, I will have them loaded up in just a second here. And
all right. So let's see. James, I saw some of the messages. Let's see, go through some of this stuff. So go scrolling. I've seen a bunch of stuff about Cody Rhodes and Lex Luger.
I got him.
Okay, so I got one. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so first question from Nicholas Watt. He says, between Drew, Sammy, and Cody, who do you think was the best person to beat Roman and take the title going forward? For me, it would have been Sammy. It's just a pure business decision.
From a pure business decision? Okay, so like to get to Sammy, you have to go through Drew McIntyre. So, like, obviously, we didn't know that Sammy was going to get to that, but, like, at the time, seeing that they were in the UK and they had Drew and, like, it's, how many dozens of thousands of people are there in that arena, I would have pulled the trigger then. I would have pulled the trigger.
Could have, yeah. Yeah.
And also, that's the best of these 3 matches, in my opinion. So, yeah, I would have went with that.
Yeah.
Then.
If James had to pick one Joshi stable to beat Bloodline's asses, what stable would he pick?
I guess I gotta go old school. I'm gonna go with LCO from HAW. We're gonna bring in Mima Shimoda and Mita and Hokuto, and we're gonna kick their ass and get blood. Like that's the only way, right?
Next question of his is, how do you feel about Gunther retaining over Drew and Sheamus? We answered that earlier. Kind of, I didn't like it. I wanted Sheamus to win, but I still love the match. But I think Sheamus should have won. Yeah, I would have, given the situation, what I would have done ideally is I would have had Drew take the pin, but from Sheamus. Let's see. On the next one, Rambo and Slam League. Do we need to still let the story play out, or are we good now? Oh, we super straight. We are straight. We're good. Like, nah. We are, look, you already know what that is. Like, you think of the number of times that, like, you let it play out and it actually goes through and works. Like, for every Bianca Belair, there's 1,000 other, shitty situations. So, no. Like, really, what they got in the last 5 years, like, or not even 5 years, let's say the last decade, they got being, carried
from SummerSlam 2013 into being forced into doing putting over Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 by tapping out Batista, and we got Bianca. That might be it in the last decade.
Yikes. Maserati, do you know any good tattoo removal services? I made a poor choice WrestleMania weekend, or prior to WrestleMania weekend.
Was that a shoot?
I hope not.
I hope not too.
I hope not. What up to Greg? Brandon Vincandia, he says, how long do you think Triple H, or how long until Triple H leaves / is fired if that happens? With this restructuring and all that, I guess we should probably talk about as well towards the end. This restructuring leads to not a lot of loyalty being shown. If this is a situation where, they really want to establish him as the creative person, he does have kind of a chief title, but he's not on the executive board or anything. So he just kind of works there. I don't know, man. It could be, Vince is back in charge.
Well, my question is this. But I don't think Vince can actually get can get it, but I don't think he's going to end up with it. So if Vince doesn't end up with it, then who else could end up with it other than Triple H?
Well,
my question. So I kind of think he's going to stay around.
Yeah. It's hard to say on that one.
But he'll definitely have less power than he had, a week ago.
Returns POV says, has anyone checked on Floyd? We talked with him. He's very upset. I'm sure he will go into it on.
Makes it sound.
Yeah, he's done. And he's said he's coming home to AEW. And he was like, Floyd was just sounds like he will never trust him again. It will never be the same for him. But I'm sure he'll tell you more about it on his show, All Things Elite, this week. So,
yeah.
He said, returns POV 2, who had it worse, Cody post main event or Ariel Helwani post Endeavor merger announcement?
So you have to remind me of what he boxed out from UFC?
Dana White basically was like, you can't cover us or some shit like that. They cut his access and everything else.
Okay. Still Cody.
Yeah, Cody had to go out there in front of the world and feel it. Ariel Helwani is just crossing very powerful men.
Yeah. And Ariel Helwani, he's a hustler. So Pro Tools or powder, it don't matter to him. If it's out there, he gonna go get it. So whatever.
Reese Haynes says, who needs to get out of the Fed sharpish after this weekend? Also, will the Throne Man ever win? Okay. Just looking at the WrestleMania card, right? I'm gonna pick some people.
Well, wait. Well, as far as they need to make the decision we made for them soon-ish.
No, they immediately. I read it as you need to look for higher ground. You need to find another way.
It's a good question.
All right, so let's take a look at WrestleMania. I think as far as I don't know, man. If you're, so I think Austin Theory got a big win.
Yeah,
Street Profits are still together. There's Gable and Otis, but there's just Gable and Otis. Strowman and Ricochet. Ricochet, if you want to, I don't know. He loves where he is. So,
right.
And there's not really any hints of Malcolm. Maybe Seth Rollins, they ain't never going to push you the way you think you're going to be pushed at this point. You're crying and interviews about another babyface and shit like that, doing unproductive shit. Maybe it's time. Maybe you realize that carrying all that water wasn't going to make them respect him in that way. And
I just have a hard time imagining him, being somewhere else. He's been there so long.
And I'll say Drew McIntyre at this point, because I think Drew is 38, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he's had a couple good years of top money. After that, yeah. I don't know how much more you want to like. Because think about it, like your top two heels are Roman Reigns and Gunther, and I don't think they're going to push you over either of those guys.
Yep.
If you turn babyface, you already lived that life. You're not going to get to win. They're going to
go behind Cody and Sammy right now. Yeah.
So you might want to put some feelers out.
Especially when it's like you look around, especially when you look around and you're like, those are your top two heels, those are your top two baby faces. It's like, I feel like I'm better than at least three of them. Like, as good. There's no way he doesn't think he's better than at least three of them.
Yeah,
I'll let y'all decide who the three are those four, but he definitely feels he's better than at least three of them.
Muzzo, what were your thoughts on the WrestleMania weekend? What were your particular highlights? Hijo del Vikingo for sure. I didn't see like a lot of the other stuff, but like the stuff I did see, and then leading from AEW last week and the week before, Viking was on a mission.
Unfortunately, I did not see any of the WrestleMania weekend stuff, but I will try to get through it through the week between Supercard of Honor, the Tokyo Joshi Pro Show in LA. I will cherry pick the stuff off Bloodsport that I heard was good that Josh recommended to me. See whatever else is on like the Impact New Japan show. But really, like this week was literally just for me WrestleMania and like the Cinderella tournament. That was it.
Mother said, what kind of packs are we smoking for Cody? We were smoking that nightmare pack, Smoke that shit and go to sleep. And then you wake up like, what the fuck's going on? And 3, will Roman actually beat Bruno's record? Shit.
No.
That's a long time from now.
He's like over half a decade away still.
Right. I'm like, it sounds crazy, right? It's crazier than you think it is how long Bruno Sammartino held the belt.
There's a reason why that shit happened back then. That could happen now. It's like Bruno's, Bruno's like day reign record is. That's like Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain's like rebound numbers, and like nobody's replicating that like, shit. It's different league, like different standard, like just not possible.
That's like Cy Young's amount of wins.
Yeah. 500 wins.
Baseball.
This shit. We can't even get a bitch to 300 wins these days. Just 50.
Mike Zoman says, no question. Just want to point out that time is a flat circle. 30 years later, the Lex Express is back.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? Like, remember as Cody was like, divesting from AEW, he had Meltzer had mentioned that Cody had just bought a bus.
Yes.
Yep.
Amazing. Look, had he just waited a little bit, WWE could have bought it for him. But, get something out of the deal. Shit. Jay Beasley says, what's more important, having a storyline to Kenny Omega versus Vikingo, or having your top two babyfaces lose, one in their hometown for reasons?
Gee, I would say the WWE situation they've gotten themselves into, definitely. Yes.
I think that's way more pertinent and pressing than whether a storyline for a dream match is necessary.
Yeah.
Velkej, how long have you been running this victory lap, the Cody one? Man, it's almost like Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace. It's been, let's see, it's been about 4 years since Nip left us. I will continue running the victory lap for him. This is like, brother, like this I feel like on this show, I said earlier, like we were able to call all the shit that he was involved in before it happened, talk about when he was doing fake jobs, when he was doing, boxing himself out from the main event scene, the jump, the run here, and I haven't really thought about like where he's headed now, but they've opened up, they broke the seal of beating him now, and
which means they can beat you again.
Yep. And it's like, all right, you're gonna be working with Brock, you working on Brock's terms. So like, it's hard for me to feel like Cody's like going to be able to dictate terms to anybody, or excuse me, if it's not Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, he can dictate terms. No. If it's those guys, I don't feel like he dictates terms.
Correct.
And in that case, you're left up to the whims of them taking out their weird revenge on you.
Yeah.
Because you're a founding father of the other company.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nothing to add.
King of the North, no questions. Just played a Georgia Bulldogs fight song, put the pack in the air, did a little earlier.
Yep.
Black Sabre Jr. He said, first, hope y'all are doing well. With WWE being sold and some talent already leaving, example, Grizzly Young Vets, who else do you believe will ask for their release? And I don't know. Releases are tough to predict.
You know who needs to ask for the release?
Who?
Someone that already has before. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Can't go back.
Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong needs to ask for his release again, and he'll get it this time.
Yeah. Go out there and, hit them up. Say y'all ain't even using me.
Like, if you are somebody, like, look, they're Garganos, they should both ask for their releases. Right now.
Yeah.
They should ask for them right now.
Yeah.
Will they? Probably not, but they should.
No. I think they love WWE too much, but.
Yep. And they love being so fucking close to Disney World. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah. People like what they like.
Yeah.
Black Saber also says, where would you rate the IC Triple Threat match among the greatest Mania matches of all time? I got a fucking hot take for you. What? Top
better?
3 at least? I'm sorry. I don't think I want to hear Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels over this. Like, I'm not prepared to go there right now.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you say all WrestleMania matches. So I would say Shawn Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. WrestleMania 13, Austin and Brett.
Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle.
Shawn and Kurt, yep. And then after that, it's about there.
It's like, we ain't got shit in the last what?
Jeez. I mean, the best match in the last few years has been like the Sasha and whatever match. And most people like that a lot more than I do.
Bianca.
Yeah, Sasha and Bianca. Most people like that
Bianca.
a lot more than I do. Like, I had that in the, like, it might be 4.5 type of thing.
Man, I think I feel like it was so good. Like, so, and, WrestleMania history is weird because there's a lot of bad matches, a lot more bad matches than you think.
There's a lot more bad matches than good matches.
Like, we go through years and there's like 1 or 2 things worth a damn on the show quietly.
Yep.
You've got your old stuff like your Warrior versus Macho Man type stuff, or a lot of Macho Man stuff early days.
Yeah.
Attitude Era really doesn't have, the signature WrestleMania matches like that, aside from maybe Hart Austin.
TLCs, they would count. Those would be the best matches of those eras.
Yeah.
Of that era.
But this gets in the room, as I like to say.
Yeah.
So, I believe I got some Discord questions as well. Let's see what we got here. And of course,
now I would like to see what it's like if you say you break it out of just WrestleMania and say best WrestleMania weekend shows from like matches from WWE, because then you throw in like the Brooklyn takeover or like the location takeovers, whatever else, because a lot of Gargano going nuts, a lot of like, I mean, even people like Ciampa or Cole going nuts, whatever else. I would like to see how that like stacks up.
I know we won't have to worry about one final beat being on that bitch though.
No. Man.
The MJ does PR. Will Drew McIntyre explore free agency? I mean, if so, what becomes of WWE's tough white man division? I think Gunther can handle that himself.
He gonna uphold the mantle while Drew's going if he leaves.
I think Drew's going to do that because like we went through his future prospects on the babyface and heel side. Doesn't look great. If he wants to just stay and turn his brain off for the money, I think so. But it looks like there's some type of financial thing because he wants a number and they want a number. And
there's also the part where it's like,
this sounded like a Claudio situation, like the way I was like kind of reading it.
They're not giving the money he wants,
right?
Well, what I would say. In that situation, if it is like the Claudio situation, is look, Claudio didn't want to go, and he did. He's made the most of it, and it's been a lot of fun. And like you get yourself in a leadership position, in a way. Like with obviously Galloway or Drew, he knows a lot of people from everywhere because he had to work with a lot of those guys when he was out in Indies.
Yep. Look, and he's not afraid to like hit that. Like he took that long way back too. That's what made him this good. Obviously along with his drive to get better, but like, look, man, there are a few things I never really thought of it before, but like now that it's like just think about it. There are a few things that I would want to see more out of pro wrestling going forward than like a Drew McIntyre Kenny Omega match or Drew McIntyre John Moxley or Drew McIntyre versus Adam Page or like, are you kidding me? Drew McIntyre versus Eddie Kingston or some shit. Like, come on, man, that'd be fucking awesome. And like they would position him in a better than he has been positioned like post 2020 in WWE. Like they don't have anything that looks remotely like Drew McIntyre in AEW. To be fair, there's not many promotions ever had anything that looks like Drew McIntyre anywhere. A 6'5", 270 dude that can jump out, that can do flip dives to the floor. That don't really exist. Yeah, man. Like, before his body betrays him, hopefully, he gets a chance to make the most of it. JML, does Io Sky have a shot to be in one of the women's title matches or even be the center of the women's division?
No, too small.
This is going to hurt. I think she could win a Money in the Bank. She could probably get one of those summer title reigns that
think so.
Maybe Nikki ASH or Liv Morgan got. The unfortunate thing is I don't think they trust her at all, like as far as microphone time, but like with the Vince thing coming back, I don't see it.
So one thing I noticed, and I forgot about this. I forgot that Trish is small.
Mm-hmm.
So she was in there when Trish was out there with Io. I was like, oh, okay. Then I thought to myself, the only people they ever push that are small that in the women's division are like Trish or Alexa Bliss. Guess what? Io don't look like Trish or Alexa Bliss. Because she's, you want to play the clip. You should have like a soundboard for you to play blonde, big titty, white woman. Like there's no, that's not there. So yeah, like it doesn't matter that like as far as talent, like she's might be the most like gifted women's wrestler they've ever had signed for long, but it doesn't matter. Like we're at a point now where like Io's had her matches and NXT and all that kind of stuff, and she's doing whatever she does on the side and has good matches with Becky or whatever else on TV. Like she's gonna have her career. She's gonna to just kind of go through the motions, and then whatever happens after that. But like people aren't gonna realize that like whatever the best matches you saw her have, like that's not a top 20 match like in her career like catalog. She's fucking awesome. Like you're gonna have to go back on Stardom World and find old shit, or go to some YouTube or whatever to find it. But like, who knows, man? Like I think now she's what 30. Okay, so Mayu is 30 now, so that means she's like 32, 33. Yeah, so that's kind of what it is. Like she's gonna, if she wants, she's gonna be a good soldier and have her career or whatever else, and just go through that kind of thing. And whatever. She wanted to stay. But I see what Kyrie's doing since she left, and I'm like, I so wish you fucking left so badly.
Agreed.
So
that
badly.
unit is an absolute. Please break up that unit, please. Senor Sombrero, after all those times we said we were done with WWE after the booking let us down, do we mean it this time? Who is we?
Yeah, I like after WrestleMania 35, I was done. 5.5 hour show, shitty. Like Ronda Rousey gets her shoulder up on the 3 count. Fuck off.
Dr. Larry the Dark. He said odds on Cody beating for you or Austin Theory for the U.S. title, and them saying he's doing it for his daddy. You can never underestimate that.
And him winning the U.S. title would be him finishing the story. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was Cody already U.S. champion in this run?
No, he
didn't take it off Seth.
No.
Okay, just making sure. Wasn't paying close attention. So,
King of the North, you sent me a video on Twitter. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I need to open up another tab. It's backwards, but
Oh, God.
it's Riho's music. Like Roman Reigns is the entrance, but it's like it's Riho's dub joint. That's pretty funny. That's like that Triple H one. But WWE sold to Endeavor, which is the parent company of UFC. Mergers are usually not designed to create jobs.
No, to keep costs low. It's like, hey, you do this. You can do this for this as well, and we can get rid of that salary. Yeah.
Vince McMahon did an interview on CNBC with Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel maintained that the creative stuff would be left up to Vince. Vince was, WWE owns 49% of it. Endeavor owns 51% of WWE, so they're the majority holder. So it's kind of end of an era, in a sense. I don't think that your day-to-day as a customer, anything will change for you, but I think the wrestlers
immediately
you're not going to see like this stuff, but it's about to be a creep of all this shit. Wait till the TV deals start coming up and the Peacock deals like start coming up. Like if they intend to run this similar to UFC, where they get all the money out of everybody at all times with all the advertising and all the other shit, like it's going to get nasty and uncomfortable for a lot of people, and it's going to be intrusive, and it's going to be
a lesser experience.
Yeah, overall lesser experience. And Vince hatched his master plan. I can only be happy they didn't sell to Saudi Arabia. I think
I'm surprised. I'm just happy that they sold it all. I thought this was all a scam.
Yeah, look, and in some ways it still was.
Well, I mean, a different scam.
Yeah,
it's a different scam than it's a different play being ran. But I thought it was a play of like, oh, I'm coming back to sell. Sure.
Yeah. Well, no,
he actually was
going to the Tanop, but they did sell, and I mean he's back. Raw sounded like a Vince experiment tonight, and apparently there were only 4 matches.
Kill the top baby face on the brand. Yeah, it does sound like a Vince experience. It does.
Yeah. So, the story on this just broke today. I haven't admittedly read super deep into it.
Same.
So I'm still trying to learn what it all means, but just figured we'd talk about it real quick.
Rich, think of the number of times Brock and Roman have fought each other, and then it comes for Brock to fight Roman Reigns in Solo Sikoa, and he instead turns his attention to beating up Cody Rhodes randomly for no reason. This man has had Roman Reigns' number, except for recently, for like a decade.
Right.
And now he wants to fight Cody instead. That's random as fuck.
Just fuck you.
Like, what happened? Like, no, just fuck him, cuz I'm unpredictable. I'm a chaos agent. Okay, sure. Yeah. Whatever, man.
I think we can we hit the wrap up.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, we ain't gonna play the music. We're not gonna do none of that. We're just going to talk about the Cinderella tournament. Cinderella tournament this year, even by the standards of what Cinderella tournament is, as like a upset breakthrough tournament for like the under the main event scene. This was a crap fest. Like,
was March Madness a more stable and steady tournament, James?
Yes. Do you want to know what the Final Four was out of this 36 competitor tournament doled out for us? What it yielded?
What?
On the left side of the bracket, in the Final Four, you get Mai Sakurai versus Waka Tsukiyama.
The Waka streak. Let's run it up.
On the other
Waka
side.
meter.
On the other side, you get Ami versus Mirai.
Wow. But Mirai just won that bitch.
Mirai won it last year. Ami had a white belt title shot in January and what was probably I was there for that. I was fighting falling asleep in person. Yeah, so you got Mai Sakurai and Waka, who's the worst wrestler on the roster technically, but is over as fuck. So hope Mirai has to go back to back. She just has to, just to maintain sanity and credibility in doing it. Other than saying oh yeah, we're doing Yokohama Arena 2 weeks after this. A week after this. We don't give a fuck about this thing. We just had to do it because it's on the calendar. You have to have Mirai win it. Otherwise, whatever. Just not many good matches. The best matches on the tournament were all from round one, where you had Azumi and Hazuki, or Nanai and Utami, or Kamatani and Mayu, where they're just draw. Those are draws. They're going to draws, but they're going to beat the shit out of each other while they have draws. That's all I have to say about the tournament. Really disappointing, even by the standards of what historically is an underwhelming tournament. Yeah. But
UConn won the men's national championship.
Oh, that's nice. So is that their 4th title?
Bro, UConn to this decade, they got one in 99, or excuse me, they got one in 2011. They got one this year. They got
99, 2011. They won one in the 10s, and they won that one, just this one. So that's 4.
Yeah, something. Shout out to UConn.
What a
UConn's
unassuming blue blood.
Yeah, UConn's always kind of been my second team. I just kind of always liked them. But shout out to them. So I actually picked them to go to the championship game, and I won a March Madness bracket for
really?
for Catherine's work.
Okay.
I filled it out, and I had I had Connecticut going into the finals in her tournament, and I won. And then I had Miami in the Social Suplex, who made the Final Four. I picked Miami to go to the Final Four. They made it. So I did pretty well in that one. I think I finished second, but so weird year. I guess, though. I guess, we the WrestleMania review show, as far as overall, I thought it was night 1 was a great show.
Yeah.
Night 2 just was not. And it was
night 2 was just another WrestleMania.
It was similar to last year.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. Well, can't wait for next year.
Philadelphia.
Now we get to see what The Rock, I guess. We'll see.
Can we get Even Though What We Do Is Wrong as the theme song for...
Not a chance.
I wish.
Not a chance. I'm surprised when they still play that shit at or flip side when they play it at Philly games, or Sixers games.
We just gonna be stuck with Lil Uzi, I Want to Rock. I'm nah, man, that ain't the Lil Uzi I want to listen to. I want to listen to Now I Do What I Want.
Yeah.
But yeah. My
My
birthday is on Sunday, so
yes,
I don't know what I'm doing yet at all. So I'll let y'all know. I do have my second album is coming out of the year is coming out on Sunday. Just kind of put the sequencing together.
Applies.
About to be 3 this year. I'm aiming for. So,
you trying to get a deal?
Yeah, just stacking it up.
Like the last person I remember like dropping multiple albums in 1 year was like, I think was it Ross that was trying to get his deal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Dream Machine Act 2. I put up a YouTube video of recording the intro for it. So yeah, y'all should check it out. Pay what you want.
So I can put it in the show notes.
Yep. Next week it'll be there ready. So, but yeah, I guess we should wrap this whole up.
Yep. That's in the show. Thanks for listening, y'all. If you are watching from the stream, look at our PayPal, look at our Cash App that are on the screen. Go there, drop us off a donation there. If you're listening,
the best. We are the best, and that's why you should donate, because we're the best.
If you're listening from the podcast, you can go to the show notes or description and find a link to our Rare Circle. You can donate there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides the One Nation Radio, you have the Keepin It Strong Style. Not the Keepin It Strong Style. You have Keepin It Strong Style. You have the Ricky Clive Wrestling Show. Grown Men Watch This Shit. The Grave Consequences podcast. All Things Elite. 8-Bit Suplex. Get in the Ring. Meet the Press Slam. And Great Match Generator. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Cody Rhodes.
A good time starts with a great wardrobe. Next stop, JCPenney. Family get-togethers to fancy occasions, wedding season too. We do it all in style. Dresses, suiting, and plenty of color to play with. Get fixed up with brands like Liz Claiborne, Worthington, Stafford, and J. Farrar. Oh, and Thereabouts for kids. Super cute and extra affordable. Check out the latest in-store, and we're never short on options at jcp.com. All dressed up, everywhere to go. JCPenney.